Today's podcast is brought to you by Visa, who wants to know, where would you like to be? Whether you're a super fan getting ready for game day or a food truck owner feeding hungry fans, Visa wants to help you pursue your passion with the simple and unwavering vision to be the best way to pay and be paid for everyone, everywhere. They know that every Visa transaction is a promise, and they want to provide you with the most secure and easy payment experience possible. That's why they're continuing to make innovations, from tapping to pay to pushing money directly to your debit card, so you can get to where you would like to be. Visa, everywhere you want to be. Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed live from Los Angeles, everybody. Hope you had a fabulous Thanksgiving.
Great.
I'm Jen Hale here with Skip Bayless, Shannon, Sharpe. Are you out of your turkey comas, guys? How are you? Shannon's ready.
I have nothing more to say.
No. Do that. Do what you normally do every morning, Skip.
This show belongs to Shannon Sharpe. This whole season belongs to Shannon Sharpe. Undisputed now belongs to Shannon Sharpe. I can't believe those words are coming out of my mouth, but they are.
I don't want it.
It is over.
I want to see you do this right here, Skip. Just do this for one time.
I just did one little one. You weren't watching because you were so self-absorbed you didn't see it.
Do a big one.
No, I did one little one, and that's all you're going to get today because that's all today deserves is one little tap of my nose.
Oh, so this is all you get right here?
Yeah. That's all you get. But I did it. I did one tiny one. Everybody saw it.
Everybody saw it.
The world saw it because they are actually watching me instead of you.
They're about to watch me, though. They're about to watch me, though.
I think not.
Yeah, they're about to watch me, Skip. They're about to watch me.
We have a packed show today, as you can tell. Emotions running high. Will the Niners defense be able to slow down Lamar Jackson in that electric offense? Plus, how is Tom Brady going to handle even more adversity? But first, you already know what we're talking about. Every angle of the Cowboys' loss to go over. Dallas has now dropped 2 in a row and fallen to 6-9 on the season. After the Bills carved up the Cowboys 26-15, emotional players could be heard screaming inside the Cowboys' locker room. According to Dak Prescott, that was defensive end Michael Bennett yelling words of encouragement to the team. Then a teary Jerry Jones had a ton to say after the game, talking to the media for more than 25 minutes. Despite Jerry being highly critical of his coaching staff earlier in the week, after yesterday's defeat, he was standing firmly behind Jason Garrett and says he still has a lot of hope moving forward. Take a listen.
I know Jason very well. I've had a wonderful opportunity to spend a football life with him, so I know him very well. And you know, without a doubt, you've seen it, nobody wants Jason, wants it to go. And I'm going to tell you this right now, he's got my back too. I agree it's outside. Right. Okay. But if we do that and win it 1-1, we've got a chance to be in the right side of the playoff column. I've been told all my life, adversity gives you an opportunity to really write a hell of a story about how to come back. We've given our chance the best foundation to turn around and have a great story.
Cowboys at 506-6. Surprising, Shannon. What's your reaction to all of this?
They're not worse. Hold on, wait a minute. What is all this yelling and screaming for after the game? You had 60 minutes to put your foot on somebody's throat. You had 60 minutes to yell and scream. And you wait till you get to the locker room? Why you yelling and screaming at me? Buffalo needed that. They needed that energy. They needed that passion. And now you want to come in here and everybody tough. Jerry crying. There ain't no crying in football. What you crying about? I want to take what he said last first. He said he was always taught about adversity. Jerry, you do terrible in adversity. You lose to the one-loss Patriots. You want to fire the head coach.
Yep.
You get beat on Thanksgiving in your building, and now you give the coach a vote of confidence. You see, Skip, look, when things start to go sideways, Jerry goes sideways with it. Skip, I told you, and I said this the other day, he's more fan than what we call a true owner, because true owners doesn't ride the wave. You know it's going to be ebbs and flows during the season. There's going to be highs, and when it's high, Jerry's at the top of the wave. We're going to the Super Bowl. But when they low, I got too much talent. I put too much into this for me to worry about this. What? No, Skip. It's not. The press conferences that Jerry uses, Skip, those are his therapy sessions because this is his opportunity to vent, to get exactly what he's thinking off his chest. And the longer you talk, I've never heard in all my life, and been around it for a long time, the owner speak for 25 minutes after a game. That was his session, but it's free. See, normally you go speak to get on somebody's couch and talk that low. You got to pay for that, Skip. Jerry gets to do this after every game.
Right, and don't forget, he had already just spoken indoors, behind closed doors, to the team.
Right.
Okay, so you don't hear that either.
Exactly. Yeah. But this is his therapy session that he gets an opportunity to vent. He gets an opportunity to share what's going on and what his thought process. But here's the thing, Skip. You know this. The longer you talk, the more likely you to have a slip-up. And I think last week, the more he talked, the more he's like, the coaches are under my purview. I can fire, I can hire, do all this. He said some things, and that's why he backtracked and said what he said yesterday. Because it's hard for me to believe that you want to fire Jason Garrett after losing to the Patriots. Ain't no shame in losing to the Patriots. No matter what you think, outcoached or whatever, there's no shame in losing to them. But you lost to Buffalo at home, and then you're like, I got his back, he got mine. I'm surprised that Jerry does this all the time, Skip, because Jerry's been in this. He brought the team in what year, Skip? 88, 89? 89. So 30 years, Jerry has been the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. So 30 years, he understands they're going to be good, they're going to be bad. But what you really don't do is that you don't ride that. Fans do this. I'm done with the Cowboys. Skip Bayless does this. Zeke has a bad game, throw his jersey in the trash. Zeke eats again, he digs the jersey out of the trash and he puts it on. That's Skip Bayless.
By the way, the jersey is still in the trash.
No. You need to throw that forward in the trash. That's what you need to do. But we're going to talk about him a little later, Skip Bayless. I'm not surprised Jason Garrett is safe, even though when it came out yesterday, if he loses to Buffalo, he could be fired on Friday. I said, Jason's not going anywhere because he's too emotionally connected to Jason. Skip, he wasn't emotionally connected to Wade Phillips. He didn't grow. Jason came up in that organization. He was the backup to Troy when they were winning Super Bowls. And he views him differently than he viewed any other coach because he really looks at him like a fourth child. He got, he got biological kids, but the closest he came, Jason Garrett is it.
That is true.
I knew Jason Garrett was not going anywhere. Skip, you say things that during emotion, you get angry, you get upset, you might say things, you're like, why did I say that? And that's why they always tell the players, take 30 minutes after the game, decompress before you go to the microphone. But Jerry don't heed that advice, Skip. The moment he walks down up at that box and he got that security detail with him, he goes straight to a podium and you start talking.
It's not even a podium. He just lets everybody surround him and he just gushes.
He wait. Is everybody here? He wait. Everybody here looking right. Everybody, you right? Okay. And he starts going.
Yep.
So, Skip, I'm not surprised. And Jerry's right. Everything they have that they need to accomplish, win the division, you got a home game, anything can happen. But I said this at the beginning, Skip. I didn't feel the Cowboys were going to make the playoffs because I didn't think they were going to win the division. I still believe the Eagles will. And because of what transpired, you got two teams that are not, the Packers and Vikes are 8-3 in the same division. And you got a 10-1 and a 9-2 team.
You're just wasting your breath on that. Go on. So, next point. Yeah, it's division or bust, obviously.
No, you bust.
Yeah.
You went belly up yesterday.
Okay.
And stop. Hey, can you do me a favor?
I'm not doing it. I haven't even spoken yet.
I want you to do me a favor. When you tweet, can you add me so people can stop sending me your tweets?
Would you do me a favor and quit reading what people are saying to you during the game?
No, they're not saying.
You're letting them shape your opinions.
How do they shape my opinion?
I don't read any of that.
No,
I don't care.
But you listen
I don't care what you tweet.
But you listen to the
I don't care about anything.
You listen to the sound, and they shape what you think of Dak Prescott.
No, they do not.
Yeah, dude. That's why you listen to the sound.
So you're saying Tony Romo over-defended Dak Prescott yesterday?
There was nothing.
I don't think so.
You can't defend the indefensible, but somehow you find a way to.
Tell me when you're finished.
Take it away.
My turn. Just quick points of order about Mr. Sharpe across the table. Once again, you were really wrong about your Cowboy pick because you picked the Buffalo Bills to lose hugely yesterday to the Cowboys. 31-17, just as you picked the Cowboys to win at New England the previous week. But your logic yesterday, you told me, quote unquote, on yesterday's show, that the Buffalo Bills are even bigger frauds than the Dallas Cowboys.
And I was
even bigger frauds.
I was gravely mistaken.
Really wrong.
But you know what, Skip? Unlike Jerry, I'm not going to cry about being wrong about this one. I'm happy.
the 9-3 Buffalo Bills are clearly way better in every way, shape, or form than the Dallas Cowboys, including coaching, which I will get to in just a moment. Now, I told you yesterday, sitting right in this chair, that game against the Buffalo Bills was make or break for my 2019 Dallas Cowboys. This would be the defining moment. And I believe yesterday completely broke my football team. I believe that this team has become a talented but broken football team that has lost its confidence, lost its mojo, lost whatever little momentum it had off those easy early season victories over, as you said, bad football teams.
Yes.
And has ultimately just lost its winning edge and its way. This team no longer has any idea how to win football games. This team continues to make lots of plays, but can't make the plays, the winning plays.
Meaningless plays.
You can say meaningless. I will give you that. But I was very wrong about the 2019 Dallas Cowboys. They are not going to win the division. They are not going to the playoffs. They are done, D-O-N-E, done, after yesterday.
What?
Yesterday was the worst loss of the year. It was even worse to me than the Green Bay loss in which they fell behind 31-3 at home.
Worse than the
But
Jets.
did roar back. This was the worst loss because this was the first time they just got their asses kicked at home.
What?
They got them kicked at home because they gave up after a roaring to a 7-0 lead, as I predicted.
Get up to the great start
They will
that you
just
wanted.
roar out of the gate.
Yes.
And then they looked around and said, are we there yet? Is that enough? Does that do it? Did we just make the play? No, you didn't make the playoffs because that team over there is resilient and tough mentally and physically. And here came the Bills, and there went Dallas because Buffalo scored 26 unanswered points. That was the worst loss because they just flat out lost that game. It's indefensible from start to finish. So I'm here to tell you, this team has so lost its way that there is no way it's going to go a week from last night to Chicago and win that game against the Bears, who I watched beat the Lions. Barely, but they beat them.
Right.
They're not going to win that game. They're not going to come home and beat the Rams at home, even though the Rams are struggling, you can argue, even more than the Cowboys are.
That's correct.
But somehow Jared Goff has had the Cowboys' number, and I believe he'll have it again. And finally, there is absolutely no way that I think the Cowboys can even go to the lowly Eagles, the Beagles as I call them, and win the big showdown game on, December 22nd, because what evidence do I have of this? This team has yet to beat any team with a winning record. Not one time. I have no evidence that they can right the ship or flip the switch, as Jerry's saying, this is going to be the greatest story ever told. Baloney it is. It's over because look at what the Eagles have left. The easiest closing schedule in the National Football League. Look at what happens. The Eagles get to go to the Dolphins. Then they come home to play the Giants. Then they go to the Redskins. Then they get the Cowboys at home. And then the Giants at the Giants. They're going to win out.
We take it one at a time.
How can they not win out? So I'm here today to congratulate Shannon Sharpe and his Philadelphia Eagles. You just won the NFC East. It is over.
Don't buy it.
It is done.
Without buying what you selling,
it is over. I'm not selling anything. I'm just telling you. I'm just opening my heart. You can call me a psycho-crazed fan, and I am, because I threw Dak's jersey in the trash last year, but I fished it out because he earned me.
You should have put him back in there yesterday. Did you do that?
We'll talk about that. No, I did not, because the truth is that Dak Prescott's really all this team has had all year. I've told you this about 50 times
Well, that ain't
on this
much.
show.
If all they got is him, it ain't much.
And the irony of what we're saying here is the only reason that my Cowboys are still on some sort of life support, some meaningless, weird life support, is because the Eagles, starting with Carson Wentz, have been so shockingly awful. Carson Wentz has regressed. Carson Wentz is not as good as Dak Prescott anymore. Maybe at one point it was at least a competition, but that's over.
I can't tell right now.
No, well, I can. I can show you a whole lot of numbers on that one. Carson Wentz is a disaster, but he's less of a disaster than my team is. And the only reason my team is on life support is because your secondary was so decimated all year, but it's starting to come back together, starting to get healthy. So I will give you this. Your defense is much better than my defense is at this point because my defense is way overrated, and it has been all year. My pass rush, featuring DeMarcus Lawrence, D-Law, $100 million man, it's way overrated because it's so wildly inconsistent. You'll see a flash. What did I just tell you? They'll make a play here or there.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. Look at Robert Quinn. Look at Michael Bennett. And then what? Then it will go for 2 quarters, and you won't even hear from it anymore.
Nope.
DeMarcus Lawrence is way overpaid at $100 million.
What?
Just the way my offensive line is way overpaid all across the board. They don't play up to their contracts. Not one of them does. Who I say, that's dominating. They can't block for the run. They cannot protect Dak Prescott consistently. You don't see a full game of dominant run blocking, dominant protection. It just breaks down like crazy. They look like a sieve about half the plays in the game. I'm sorry. And I'm going to get to Ezekiel Elliott in a little bit here, but he's not worth $90 million. He's not a $90 million running back.
If you only give him 12 carries a game, he can't show you what he can do.
We'll talk about that because he had 2 big carries early, and then, I don't know, he was gone.
What about those 2 carries in the second half?
What 2 carries?
Exactly. That's all he had in the second half was 2.
Well, I'm going to get to that soon because he's still way overrated.
No, your quarterback is.
My quarterback has been the only bright spot, and it's hard to defend my quarterback because...
Well, you're trying really hard.
He is now 9th worst in the league, which is not the bottom, but he's 9th worst in turnovers. So, total turnovers,
Hold up.
that's hard to overcome.
Hold up. And yesterday he was bouncing to him, throwing the ball at Zeke's feet.
Well, he's not as bad as that guy is.
Your guy hit the D lineman in the belly with a pick. But that was Jason Garrett's fault because he was on the sideline clapping, G, and you ain't know that. That was his fault. What about the strip sack? What are you doing with the ball? I thought you protect the ball in your hand. You in the pocket, Skip.
It's actually the first time that's happened all year.
No,
he did not see the rookie from the University of Houston behind him.
That's the first time. That's the first time they lost it. It's happened, but if you don't lose it, then don't worry about it. Go ahead, make it.
Okay, so I want to be clear about this. I want to restate my position on Jason Garrett. I said all the way back to after the 2013 season, I'd seen enough of Jason Garrett. So that's on the old show on ESPN. I was on the record after 2 8-8s and a little half season replacing Wade Phillips. That was enough. Not a head coach, too vanilla, too uninspiring, too meat and potatoes, too conservative, too much play not to lose. I'm done with Jason Garrett. That's a long time ago, so I've had to live with him all this way. And the only metallic silver lining to last night was that was good night for Jason Garrett because, yeah, he's going to stay afloat the rest of the year because Jerry loves him like a son. But he will be gone after this year. So that's the only positive takeaway from yesterday was that was the end of Jason Garrett.
I'll be glad. You know why?
And yet I told you also last Monday of this week that I would have fired him on Monday following the New England loss only to shake up the locker room. It needed a jump start. It needed to be kicked in the butt with such a shocking change. Elevate Chris Richard, the head coach.
After that defense, what it did yesterday?
I'm just saying you need some new voice, some new look up there at the podium.
Chris Richard's voice is not even resonating with his defense. It's going to resonate through the whole team.
Okay, well, you got to put somebody up there.
Well, you got Jason Garrett.
Rod Marinelli up there.
Oh, really? Do you remember the last time we saw him coach? 0-16.
Well, do you realize the last 8 years I've seen Jason Garrett coach?
You got 3 divisions.
I'm done with it. I've had enough of Jason Garrett. I've seen enough, heard enough, because I don't hear anything. But the point is, given all that, Jerry Jones shocked me last night because after he was so highly critical of Jason Garrett, he basically was admitting to you last night that was all phony baloney. He was just playing to the crowd. At New England, that was only intended to light a fire under the football team. So he tried to light it himself while protecting the coach that he does love like a son. Then all of a sudden, we went from angry Jerry to teary-eyed Jerry. What? He wasn't flat out crying. He just got tears of emotion in his eyes. And I got to tell you, it started coming off like crazy old man talk. It was like sappy old man Thanksgiving night talk, right? After Thanksgiving dinner and a couple of drinks.
Yeah, a couple of drinks.
And he said, some people would say, what are you really smoking? No, I was wondering, what are you really drinking, old man, right? Because this got so sappy that he's talking about, I've lived a football life.
Yeah.
Which is the title of the documentaries we see on NFL Network.
Yep.
I've lived a football life with Jason Garrett, as if he's trying to say, hint, hint, maybe Jason and I would make a good football life together, right? He's like a son to me. And then Jerry starts talking about the greatest story ever told would be them flipping the switch out of nowhere, winning the division, and going to the Super Bowl. He had the audacity to talk about that. But here's where you missed the boat on this.
Okay.
It wasn't him talking like a fan. Jerry has now gone so delusional that he believes that he is the Dallas Cowboys. Like, he assembled the whole team. He picked the players.
Yes.
He paid the players. Yes. He picked all the coaches.
Yes.
He put them all in their positions. So he is now completely identifying with the Cowboys, as in all that talk about adversity and what I've been through before in my life. I've been kicked in the butt, and I got back up off and stood on my feet and fought back. He's talking about what happened to him in the oil fields.
Right.
That's what he's identifying as he is now the Dallas Cowboys, because I've told you the story that he told me for my first book, I believe it was, but how he went so bust in the oil fields early on that he flew into Love Field in Dallas and went to the rent car counter and handed his credit card to the woman behind the counter, and she took one look and took out her scissors and cut it in two because he was dead broke. So he knows what it feels like to be dead broke. So he's now identifying this plight with his plights in the oil field. Well, that's just craziness because it's not the same. And then he talked later in this 26-minute conversation about redemption. He's asking the reporters, do you believe in redemption? Because I'm a great example of redemption. I have redeemed myself. So it's all about Jerry, as if he's going to be able to will his background and his personality and his resilience on the football team going forward. That's crazy talk. Jerry, what do you see before your very eyes? You see a losing football team.
But, Skip, this is where I say Jerry and you have a lot of the fan in you. Because what happened last year? You launched. You keep saying at 3-5 last year, we're going to launch. Jerry, that's how the fans think. Everybody knows.
But what happened at 3-5? Jerry, to his credit, went out and got a real receiver. He got Amari, and I told you it changed life in Dallas. At least it did last year,
right? One more thing, Skip, before we go. You said you have no evidence that shows you that they can beat a good team or can turn this thing around. You've been had that evidence. You've been had it. Okay. Every good team they face, they lose. And now all of a sudden.
I just said that.
That's what, no.
And by the way, I'm even disqualifying. I thought there was one, quote unquote, good win on the record so far. The Eagles are Beagles. It's disqualified.
No.
It's like you can't even count that one as, that was a great win. No, it wasn't.
I've been trying to tell you this for the longest, but you don't want to hear me. You don't want to listen to me. But you will. 2 weeks from now, you'll be listening to me.
You finally got one right. I give it up. It's over. Congratulations. I can't remember how many cases of Diet Dew we bet on this, 5 or whatever it was, but you just won. Congratulations.
Yep.
Game over. Drink up.
Nope. I ain't going to do no premature celebration. I'm not like that, Skip. I don't celebrate when someone is down. I don't like, soaking up in their misery. That's not how I am. Yeah. I'm not wired like that.
Neither one of you are.
I've been such a good loser on the show for years because I'm only 43 cases up right now. But
well, you about to be 33 up because I'm about to win this Laker bet and I'm about to win this bet. That's 10 cases right there.
Okay, I'm only 33 up.
No mercy. The Cowboys jumped out to an early 7-zip lead versus the Bills, but pretty much all downhill from there. Dak threw a pick and lost 1 of 2 fumbles while also getting sacked 4 times. Zeke ran well early on, averaging nearly 6 yards a carry, but then Buffalo reeled off 26 unanswered points. Dak did lead Dallas to a second touchdown late in the 4th, but nope, too little, too late. Shannon, what was the turning point in this game for you?
Skip, I think there were a few, but I think the biggest one is that Buffalo was up against it. The Dallas Cowboys take their first drive and they go right down the field and score. And I knew this was a sign of desperation. And under no circumstances, even though they picked up the 4th down, there's nowhere in the coaching manual or the analytics will say, if you're in your own territory at the 20-yard line, it's 4th and 1, you're up 7, should you go for it? Because basically, if you miss it, you've just handed them at the bare minimum 3 points.
True.
You might hand them 7 points. They go on and get that 1st down, but then they stop them. That was Buffalo's moment to say, you know what? We can stop this team, because at that point, Skip, remember, they take the opening drive and they methodically go down the field, something the Cowboys had not done in a very, very long time.
Especially out of the gate.
Out of the gate.
Yeah.
Once they made that stop, they get the ball back, they go get a touchdown, they settle in from that point on. And the next thing you know, it snowballs into a situation where I was like, Skip, I tweeted immediately. I was like, why are they going for it? Skip, it's the first quarter. You're up 7, and you're going for it on 4. But see, you see what happened? Desperation. Jerry panicked, and it starts at the top, and it sent panic through the whole. Jason Garrett knows his better judgment. You're not going for it on 4th and 1 on your own 20. Skip, with 8 minutes to go in the first quarter, you're going for it. You that desperate? And they went for it. And then they settled in, and Cole Beasley. You know, you talk bad about old Beasley.
So have you.
No.
You used to just ridicule him.
No. Yep. I'm glad. You want Beasley, or you read Randall Cobb. Read off his number 1 year, he had 1,200 yards receiving. He went to the Pro Bowl. Beasley settled that thing in. Jordan Lewis, you see, Skip, and he talked about it after the game, said it's nice to have a coaching staff and teammates to believe in you. Skip, he went against these guys in practice every day for 2-3 years. He knew what he could do. But what frustrated him in that why he lashed out, Skip, remember, because when he went to Buffalo, he says took some shots at the Cowboys.
Did he? Yep.
Basically what it was is like, I'm cooking these guys in practice. Come game time, I get a pass here, or I get a pass there. Now he's there, he's on pace to have career highs. And it feels good to him, because every big play they needed, he came up with. Skip, there was a play after the turnover, they strip sacked Dak. And it was like, I think, 2nd and 20. I thought my TV glitched because I had never seen this before. Josh Allen goes back to pass. And DJ, if we got this, can we cue this up? Skip, watch this. I thought my TV glitched. Watch this. He froze. I'm like, did my TV? I'm calling Roy. I said, Roy, you need to come get these TVs. Because he backs up the pass, and then he just come to a complete stop.
What did I just tell you about my pass rush?
What?
That was embarrassing.
Is that what you call the pass rush?
Yeah.
They go on and get a touch, and it leads to, I think, if I'm not mistaken, a touchdown there.
Wait, is he still standing? Is he going to throw another one?
Skip, but I really thought my TV glitched because I had never seen a quarterback do this before. Because normally, you know, he's bouncing around, he's moving. But he comes to a complete stop.
He was serene.
And then, but the Cowboys defense couldn't get him off they couldn't get him off the field, Skip.
Nope.
They went 8 of 14, but they went 2 and 2 on 4th down.
Yep.
And I knew, Skip, you know when I knew it was over? When Josh Allen fumbled that ball, and he got it, and got the 1st down, I said, it's over. It reminded you of the Andrew Luck play, but Andrew Luck scored a touchdown on it. Fumbled the ball, he got it, and dove into the end zone. And from that point on, they never looked back. And Skip, I know you don't want to talk about this yet, but your guy, he went to bed yesterday. I'm mad. You know why I'm mad, Jed? You know why I'm mad, Jed? Because I had to work on Thanksgiving. My best customers want fresh, hot ales. And Thanksgiving was my day off. It's about me being with my family. I don't want to have to cook. I want somebody to cook for me. But I had to, I'm a small operation, Skip. I have to pay my workers a time and a half when they come in on holidays.
You had to switch your whole theme from you only serve winners to now you only serve winners.
That came in there, they wanted more friends. Because my best customers.
The winners wanted nothing to do with the restaurant.
When I got in the restaurant business, Skip, the one thing, you know, some great people told me, they said, now, your best customers, you got to make sure you get it right with them. Cowboys, my best customers. When they want fresh hot ales, I don't care what time of the night it is. I'm getting my butt down there to the restaurant. I'm going to open up for them. Had me working on Thanksgiving. Told you this was going to happen. Let's go, Buffalo.
My turn. Thank you very much. So, as we previously discussed, my team roared out of the gate, 75 yards in 9 plays, and the play of the day for me, the one that did my heart the most good, was the first Dallas play of the game. Because remember, Buffalo won the toss and said, nah, we'll give you the football.
Give you the ball.
And so they went Tom Brady. They said, you know, this is what Tom Brady loves to do. Boom, 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 7-0. Yeah. First play of the game. If we could see that, please. It's to Amari Cooper. Oh, remember him? The guy who caught no balls on Stephon Gilmore. They just said, you know what? You know, they've been planning that for 3 days.
Yes.
We are going to throw it to Amari on Tre'Davious White right out of the gate, just to say, you're back, we're back, here we go. And that was a here we go drive all the way home. Guess who caught the touchdown pass? That old man, Jason Witten. You can outrun. That's what you say. You can outrun him now.
Yep.
But somehow he got loose and scored. 7-0. Here we go. Then on the first Buffalo series, I saw something I rarely, if ever, there's a touchdown pass to Jason Witten. Something that my staff, featuring Chris Richard, Rod Marinelli, they just don't do. This was actually a creative blitz on Josh Allen. And the backup safety who was in for Jeff Heath yesterday, Darian Thompson, here he goes. Off the edge, and he sacks Josh Allen. That was a rare sight, wasn't it? And I'm like, way to go, Rod Marinelli and Chris Richard. You came up with a pretty exotic blitz for them.
Well, at the back, he was picked.
He was?
Yeah, he should have been picked up.
He should have been picked up, but he wasn't. And it threw them back on their heels, and it forced, dare I say, a punt.
Yep.
And I thought, okay, here we go.
You got him, huh?
Okay, so now we get to the first two big Zeke runs, and I thought, eat, Zeke, eat.
Yeah.
Because they are backed up, and it's 1st and 10 at the 5-yard line, but Zeke goes for 13, and then a couple plays later, he goes for 30. But unfortunately, those yards were mostly on the wrong side of the field because they started at their 5-yard line. So that was really, if you want to boil this down, that was 2 carries for 43 yards, and he wound up with a grand total of 71 yards, so he had 38 yards on 10 other carries in the game. That's weird. So the point was that all of a sudden they get a batted down pass at the line of scrimmage, and it looked like Jason Witten was wide open in the middle of the field. And then guess who was in the game on 2nd and 10? Tony Pollard was already in the game. So Zeke is hot out of the gate, 2 big runs.
Yeah.
Well, what's he doing on the sideline? Is he huffing and puffing?
Yeah,
is he still not in game shape? He needed a blow on the sidelines.
Yep.
What are we doing?
That's what Tony
I'm
Pollard.
like, and I love Tony Pollard, but if Zeke's getting hot, if he's eating, well, what are you doing?
No, but remember, Skip, when he get 12, Tony Pollard get 12 plays, they're undefeated. So we try to get him those plays so y'all can stay undefeated.
But why would you get him plays on what looked like a Zeke drive toward 14-0?
But Skip, you want it both ways.
Hey, I'm trying to give you something here.
No,
I'm saying, what are we doing? So he gets 4, and then on 3rd down, they couldn't protect, and all of a sudden, Dak's under fire, and he bolts the pocket to the right, and he tries to fling one up to the sideline to Amari, and Tre'Davious gets there first and knocks the ball down.
Yeah.
Punt. So those 2 Zeke runs totaling 43 yards, a complete bust and waste, which brings us to your play of the day, which was the gamble on 4th and a foot. And by the way, CBS didn't get a chance to replay this because they went to the commercial break for the quarter break.
Right.
But it looked like Dak got it because he threw the ball across, I thought, the first down line, the line to gain, as they say. But we come back out of commercial break, and they're going for it.
Right.
I got to tell you, I loved it. Just because of the circumstance they were under, at least Jason Garrett showed a pulse. He just said, we are desperate. That's what that screamed. He screamed to the public, all or nothing.
No, Skip,
I told you this game was make or break, and that's the way he coached that play.
But you can't do that, Skip, because he has to be the voice of calm.
Okay.
If the pilot comes on and says we're going to crash, what the hell you think the passenger's going to do?
What happened?
They got it.
They got it.
But it showed Buffalo. They say those jokers are desperate.
And
we got him.
Okay, but did he hand it to 21? No. 4 just said, give me the
He barely got it. He barely got it, too.
He got it. I trust him to run on those kind of plays more than I trust 21.
Okay.
Because remember what happened to 21 out here at the Coliseum in a play coming out of the 3rd to 4th quarter break? It was 4th and 1,
Skip,
and he couldn't get it.
No, what about his offensive line? You just said they were overpaid and they're not playing up to what they're getting paid?
But 4 can make his own holes, as he did on a couple of first down runs yesterday. But the point was, I thought when they got it that the message had been sent not to Buffalo, but to my team. Like, okay, here we go. Because if you go score off that, if that's the ignition play of the game, 14-0, help me out. Could they hang on to 14-0? I'd give them a shot.
Probably not.
You're probably right, but would I give them a shot to hold on 14-0? Because Buffalo doesn't have a quick strike offense like a...
Still, but if you look at it, if I want the opposing team, I look at a team that's leading their division. They're up 7-0. What Jason Garrett showed is a team that has nothing to lose, that they're already out of the playoffs. So I'm gonna go for it every fourth down. I'm gonna play fake. I'm gonna fake punch you. I'm gonna onside kick you. That's what Jason Garrett showed. Hold
okay,
up.
I'm not worried about what Buffalo thinks. I'm worried about igniting my team.
But you gave
inspiring. We're all of a sudden the Cowboys say, "Damn, our coach is out of his mind today. This is great. Let's go. Here we go. Launch." And they did launch because Dak dropped right back and hit Amari for 17 more yards. And I thought, okay, we got this. Here we go. And all of a sudden, it's 1st and 10 at the Dallas 41-yard line. This became, for me, the turning point play of the game. Guess who? 21 gets the ball. Zeke right up the gut, if we could see this. This is the play of the game. 13-18 in the second quarter. And
he slipped on the star.
Whoops. He slipped on the star, and
he slipped on something. Looked like he's on the yard.
Okay. The offensive line gets completely annihilated.
Yeah.
Zeke is going nowhere slowly, and it's -4 on first down. It's hard. I'm going to remind everybody, Buffalo came in ranked 3rd in the National Football League in points allowed. They are really good on defense.
Yes.
And they're impressed. I think they're getting a little better by the snap late in the year. They are really starting to take off. Maybe they're not New England. Maybe they're not San Francisco quite, or even Baltimore, but they're up in the discussion somewhere. Yeah. Okay? So that set them back, and they went nowhere fast after that. That went backwards, and they had to punt. So there are 2 drives where you have chances because of the 2 big Zeke runs and because of the all-or-nothing 4th down gamble and a big pass to Amari. You have 2 chances to go boom and boom.
Right.
If you go cash both of them, I think they could hold on to 21-0. But then Cole Beasley happened soon after that, and here we went.
But, Skip, this is what I don't understand. It seems to me that the Cowboys, okay, Zeke gets rolling. If he gets stopped once or twice, you go away from him and put the ball back in Dak's hand. So if Dak throws an interception or he misses 2 throws, do you continuously just run the ball with Zeke? No, you give him an opportunity. Zeke had his last carry with 9 minutes and 40 seconds left in the second quarter.
Okay.
Skip, there is no way. I told you this game, I cut the pattern myself. This was tailor-made for Zeke Elliott. But you wanted to show, and everybody wants to show you this is Dak's team now. Now, this is the 2 weeks in a row now.
That's just an easy, simple surface argument by you, because look at his 10 other carries. This is what the coaching staff is seeing. 3, 2, 5, 2, -1, 2, -4, 4, 12, 3. Okay, it's not enough. You keep going first downs. Too many give-up first downs where all of a sudden it's 2nd and 8.
I'm glad you said that, because when I look at the score, when the score is 7-7, or the score is 9-7, excuse me, because he missed the PAT.
Yep.
When the score is 9-7, the score is 12, and what is Dak's numbers? Because empty calories again, 112 yards in the fourth quarter when they're down 23-7.
Okay, so let's talk about the 2 Dak blunders in the second quarter.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
The first one. 2nd and 10 at the 37, if we could see this. And
yeah, I want to see it too.
They have the perfect call against the perfect defense.
Yeah.
It's a blitz by the 2 weak side, the safety and the inside backer from the weak side are coming. And Matt Milano is the inside backer over there, second year out of Boston College. He comes scot-free, unblocked right in Dak's face. But Dak, who's playing desperate, who's still playing for a contract, and don't think that doesn't operate a little bit in his psyche, because they're starting to look like they're going to be a 6-6 team. He holds on to the ball because he wants Tony Pollard to get loose on a screen. So he holds and he holds until Matt Milano blasts him right in his face as he's trying to throw. And what happens? The ball flutters to the 315-pound defensive tackle. It's a disaster play because you had to give it up. It's the classic play where you got us. We think we almost have you, because if he can get the ball to Pollard, who hadn't even cleared yet. But if Pollard clears and you get him the ball, you know what's going to happen? Home run's going to happen.
Let me ask you a question. What would Tom Brady have done in that situation?
Throw it in the ground.
Thank you.
Throw it in the ground.
Thank you.
Okay, but Tom Brady hasn't been in a 6-6 desperation situation in which he's playing for a contract.
No, Skip.
He hasn't been in that in his whole career.
Skip, that's the thing. You play the quarterback position away, and you don't worry about your contract. You don't worry about other stuff. You make the right play, and the contract will take care of itself. But that's Jason Garrett's fault. Jason Garrett should have overruled the offensive coordinator and say, don't run the screen, hand the ball to Zeke. Because we blame Jason Garrett for everything. So that's Jason Garrett's fault.
You can't hand the ball to Zeke because Zeke was on the sideline.
We should have handed
Tony
the ball.
Pollard was in the game.
Yep.
And again, Tony Pollard is a little more electric getting loose. So they're trying to get him loose for a long run because he can run 4.4. You know, like he's got more of a burst right now than Zeke has. Let's go to turnover number 2, which came shortly in the next series after that. So it's 1st and 10 at the 49, and he's hit a couple of passes, so he's starting to feel good about himself. And he drops back, and that Ed Oliver, University of Houston rookie, guess who he's being blocked by? The backup left guard, because Connor Williams is out with some kind of knee injury, okay? And Su'a-Fila is in, and he just can't handle the explosiveness of that kid who beats him inside all the way around back behind. And so Dak is looking for the blind side end to come, and he doesn't see the end, you know, because the end's getting blocked by Ty Smith. But all of a sudden, he does not see that the inside rusher got loose behind him. And so he holds, and now he start to launch, and
empty hand
boom,
come forward.
Empty hand. Well, it's another one. It's another one where you're trying to wait for the home run.
I want to know what you say. I want to know whose fault was it? Was it Jason Garrett's fault?
No, it's not Jason Garrett's fault.
You sure?
Why?
So we blame Jason Garrett for everything.
Well, I just blame Dak. I said you're holding. You're trying to throw the home run.
So those 2 plays were Dak's fault.
Yep.
Let me read this round.
Okay.
Skip Bayless said 2 plays, 2 miscues.
Well, how can they not be?
Because you always find somewhere to blame.
I showed you the psychology of both plays. And again, the garden variety interception is the one where you don't see the DB or you force one into double coverage. So that wasn't the interception was not garden variety. That's where you're holding out hope for a big play to develop until if the screen develops to the left. And you're holding until you get hit in the mouth.
So in other words, this was more egregious because you see the guy and you still threw it to him. Okay. So this was the more egregious of an interception. But help me understand this, Skip. You're only down 13-7, starting the second half. Why would Zeke only get 2 carries in the second half?
I just showed you. I just went through the whole thing. He was going less and less. He was getting fewer and fewer yards with every carry. He had 2 big ones when they were in jail, and then he went back to the same old Zeke we've seen all year. I'm sorry.
Skip.
It's not good enough.
Skip.
It's not enough. If you showed me a bunch of 10s and 12s, I'd say, you were right, Shannon.
I want to see the guy, except Adrian Peterson, where you have a guy that has 15 carries and all of them are the 8 to 10, 12-yard variety. Skip, you watched this game too long. Stop. Hold that quarterback accountable. Because I'm tired of these empty calories, 355, but what did they mean? How many of them came before the game got out of hand, Skip? And that's what he constantly does. It got everybody's food and skewed. They writing these articles. This is the Dak team. He's had 2 weeks to show you what he can do, and he's did nothing. I just want to know one thing.
He did nothing. He threw for 110 in the 4th quarter in the rain at New England. That was pretty special.
I just want to know
a tripping penalty took him out of the last drive.
You know, Jen, excuse me, Jen. I didn't major in atmospheric science. I'm not a meteorologist, but I just need to know what were the conditions in Jerry World. Was the gust 40 miles an hour? Was it raining? Was it cold? Was it sleeting? I just need to know. Because if those conditions were perfect, I need perfect play from your guy. And he went to bed again and got me up in the middle of the night and I had to change the sheets. That's twice, Skip Bayless. But at some point in time, you're going to realize what I've been telling you all along.
I don't really appreciate that analogy, but that's just...
But that's what he did.
Okay.
Zeke Elliott is the driving force.
Well,
and the moment you get it through your head, you're going to be better off for it.
If I can have a quarterback give me 355 yards passing, I'll take that every time.
Of course you would, Skip. Skip. That's like a guy scoring 50 and they get beat by 35. What good is those 50 points?
32 of 49. So let's continue on our chronological path through the game. Now we get to the Josh Allen play that you brought up, which is 4th and 1 at the 30. And my team's still hanging in there. At that point, it's still 7-7.
Yeah.
Okay? And what happens on this play? I have never seen this happen in the history of football.
Not in the field of play.
He loses the snap, and it goes in the pile. And Covington for Dallas is all over, like he rolls across the football. Well, most quarterbacks would think of they would do one of two things. They would either stay away from it because that's a recipe for disaster.
Shoulder or hand, yes.
Or if they think they have a chance, they're going to dive on the football to try to just save the football. Although it's 4th down, so it's not going to really help you much. But that would be your instinct is just cover up the football, right? What does he do? He waits a second, and then he thinks, ooh, I could snatch this out of the pile. And not only does he snatch it, but at about 240 pounds, he decides, wait a second, I could go, I can vault.
Yeah.
So he gets 1 foot down and he vaults over the pile, and another foot comes down and he vaults forward again.
Yeah.
And he gets the first down. Well, for their sake, to your point, that was their turning point of the game, because that's when I think the whole bench knew, we got this.
Yeah.
Our quarterback's got this.
Yeah.
He is serene. He's playing like in a bubble right now.
And Skip, what surprised me with the way they played him. We talked about how mobile he is and how he can move, and it seems like Dallas really had no answers for his mobility once now, he did a great job because he scrambled on one time and he found Cole Beasley up the sideline, and Cole made a heck of a catch and a great run after the catch. But his legs is what makes him so dangerous. Now, you can tell, Skip, watching him throw the ball, you can see why Buffalo selected this kid, because he has a big-time arm. You need that in Buffalo. You're going to play in New York. You need that. You're going to play in Foxborough. You need that.
Yep.
You can see the kid arm talent is undeniable. But and you watch, and I don't follow a whole lot because they play in the early window, and I'm not really, I hate to say this, but I wasn't really looking at the Jets in Buffalo at 10 a.m. in the morning. But watching him play, Skip, compared to where he was last year,
I agree.
You can see him moving in this direction. Some guys, they start here and then they plateau. No, this kid, his arc is steady going up.
And by the way, compared to where he was at Wyoming, because I watched him play those 3 good teams his last year there, I couldn't see this.
Skip, if you watch this kid yesterday compared to where he was when he got hurt, and we don't know because he got a concussion. But Skip, he didn't play like this against the Patriots.
No.
If he'd have played like this, they'd have beat the Patriots up there.
Somebody across from me said after that game that an amoeba could play quarterback better than anybody Buffalo had, right? An amoeba.
Yeah.
So you said an amoeba was better than Josh Allen, and that was only like 6 games ago, right?
Might have been. But Skip, watching this kid play, Skip, I knew they were good defensively. But the thing is, even if you got a good defense, kind of like Chicago, when Trubisky keeps trotting them back out there after they're going 3 and out, you start to show cracks. And so I knew their defense was good. I was thinking, I was like, the Cowboys' defense is going to do a number on this kid. Yeah, they'll probably make some plays, but they'll do a number on him, and then all of a sudden, the defense, from having to play so much, was starting to show cracks. But it was the other way. Buffalo's offense, it was Dak's inability early to keep them off the field that kept sending Dallas's defense back on there, and Buffalo took advantage of them.
That is true. So what happens on the very next play after he vaulted for the first down? The slickest trick play you will ever see happen, courtesy of Brian Daboll, who, by the way, was Nick Saban's coordinator when Alabama beat Georgia. Remember, they had to replace Jalen Hurts at halftime, and Tua was discovered. Well, that was Brian Daboll, right? So now he's coordinating this offense, and I just had to sit back and say, props to you, because I wish my coaching staff, either Kellen Moore or Jason Garrett, would come up with that kind of play at that kind of moment. Because Dallas was reeling from, how did we let him do that? And all of a sudden, you let them do that. And I've never seen that concept exactly on how they ran the reverse inside, then outside, then John Brown, and then that little Devin Singletary is just gone wide open.
Because you're not thinking, Skip, when you see the reverse, you think the back is going to block. But he runs right past the guy that's his guy. He's the force guy, and he runs right past him. It was a great play. It was a great call because they hadn't shown this on film. So there's no reason for you to expect they're going to run it here.
Okay, so now that makes it 13-7. Not terrible.
Right.
And guess what my quarterback does? Here he came again. He drives the team from its 25 all the way down to the Buffalo 17 at the end of the half. They're great. They're the best team in the league at scoring at the end of the first half. And they have a 35-yard field goal, which is the equivalent of like an extra point. And guess what happens? Somebody interior in that Buffalo line got a fingertip on Brett Maher's kick and knocked it just slightly off course to the left, missed field goal. It's a psychological crusher because you're going to have...
What happened?
You're thinking, we're going to go in... Dak's thinking, despite my 2 blunders... We could go in 13-10. Well, you'd feel okay about yourself, even though they're going to get the ball to start the second half.
Correct.
So then they do, and they drive it predictably because my defense isn't going to stop them. But they get a short field goal, and what happens to that field goal?
He upright.
doinks it. He pushes it, and it hits the right upright.
It looked like it was going to be outside of the right upright. Then it straightens up and hits the upright and goes through.
And I thought it would hit it square where it would come backwards.
I did too.
And it's somehow, here's Hauschka to the right, and it just sort of, that looked like it was going right.
It did. I thought it was outside of the upright.
Here we go, another hand of God field goal in Jerry world.
But Skip, you remember, Skip, he missed one earlier, and he missed the PAT.
He did. He missed
and I recommended that they cut him on the way to the sideline. But, you know, they're like, we don't have another kicker, so we're going to hold on to it.
See, over-emotional fan. And I might be over-emotional fan also, but I got to say it publicly. Brett Maher, my kicker, has gone south officially. Once they lose
got 3 60-yard field goals this year.
He missed 2 more yesterday, 1 slightly blocked. But again, when he's missing field goals and they're playing lots of close games, you're in big trouble. So, again, that scares me. But that made it 16-7, and it felt like at that point it was 26-7.
Well, what should scare you even more is that your quarterback is not making meaningful plays when they matter. That's what should concern you. Not when you're down 23-7 and you get mop-up. Because that's what he did against New England, too. Got mop-up plays.
So here came my quarterback after the 16-17 doink field goal, the lucky one, and he drives them from his 25 all the way to Buffalo's 29, just driving. And it's still a football game.
Yeah.
And that's where Brett Maher, if we could see his 2 misses, that's where he missed the one that was the crusher. Because that's a 47-yarder, and he just pushes it dead right. That's the first one to the left, got tipped. And here we go again. And as soon as it left his foot, I'm like, nope, I'm done. And again, you can't, that would have made it 16-10. Would you have felt like you would have been a little nervous at that point, even though you quote unquote picked Dallas, but you would have been a little nervous.
So when is your quarterback gonna play not far behind by 30 points?
Would that have been a meaningful field goal?
Yeah.
That would have made 16-10, right?
And
interesting.
What? How you get now 112 yards? So like you always like to do, Jenny, because Jen, he likes to subtract. Okay, 112. So those little mop-up yards. So what would he have had if he didn't have those mop-up yards? 243.
Well, those weren't mop-up because that was going to be should have been 16-10. That is not garbage time.
And then they knock it out of his hand again. What about when you throw the ball at Zeke's feet?
Okay, well, I'm there now.
Okay.
So anyway, Josh Allen breaks loose and scores from 15 yards. Way to go, Josh.
Yep.
That made it 23-7, pretty much game over. But you think, one last little hurrah.
I didn't think that.
They drive and drive. He drove them all the way from the 25 down to the 6. He can drive that team like crazy. Drives me crazy. And then it comes to 4th and 6 at the 6. Got to go for it. You just got to go for it. Yeah, you got don't take the field goal.
Why not?
And as Tony Romo, I know you don't hear the sound, but I got to give him props for this because he nailed the strategy that got flipped on the Dallas coaches in this one because they clearly, out of a timeout, thought they're going to play man. So we will get Zeke isolated on a backer in the flat.
And get him picked in the flat because they ran everybody inside to try to get the back
everybody inside. And guess what? Sean McDermott and company and Leslie Frazier fooled them. Just fooled them because they went zone across the board. Everybody's playing zone. So Dak looks up, and why he didn't have a plan B or C, but it's just clear that he's been told we're going to get Zeke. It reminded me of the last play against Minnesota on the 4th down where they just ran Zeke on a quick out. That was up the field a little bit more. But on this case, Dak looks up, and I think he finally just decided, I'm going to throw this away, which is absolutely the wrong thing to do. But it looked like he was going to get Zeke killed because 2 Bills are coming full bore. They're like, even if he catches it, he is going to get blasted by 2. Okay? So they got him. They got, right?
That's what a smart quarterback, you know what he do? He walk into the line of scrimmage like, oh, this ain't man.
Okay. Could you know that for sure?
Yeah, you look at it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this. It's zone coverage. You can look at it.
Yeah, you can see it when the ball's snapped.
No. Dak is walking. Skip, what is that? That's zone. Ain't nobody pressed.
Okay. All right, but you don't know it for a fact until the ball snaps. Unless you got somebody going in motion. If Amari had gone in motion and somebody's running with him, then you know I got man.
Normally, Skip, they're going to press somebody. And everybody's playing off. Drop into an area. Call timeout. But see, that's your guy.
Okay.
That's your guy.
Dak took all the responsibility, said it was a terrible throw, my feet weren't set, blah, 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 blah,
He
blah.
should have.
But you know what? it's just a bad idea, and it's going nowhere.
No.
You could have hit him between the 2 and the 1.
It's not for you to decide whether or not it's going somewhere. What if Zeke shake one, run over the other, get the ball in the end zone? But when you throw it into the dirt, it's incomplete. Don't you decide. You let Zeke decide.
That would be the first time he's shaken somebody.
Don't worry about it.
He doesn't shake and bake anybody.
There's a first time for everything.
Okay.
Just like your quarterback having meaningful yards in a game that matters, not when they're down 23-7, Skip.
And CBS had a great cutaway the moment after that play back to the owner's box, and Jerry put his hand over his face.
Yeah. They had a
It came to that.
Yeah, it came to that. Your quarterback, no, I want those same people to say, this is Dak's team now. Put the ball in Dak's hand. They did it. And he hasn't delivered, Skip. I put all my eggs. He calls me a case. I put all my eggs in his basket going to New England. And he dropped them on the way to the market. I got nothing to show for it. A week's worth of eggs. Gone.
No mercy.
Dak Prescott hit Jason Witten for a touchdown to take the early 7-0 lead versus the Bills yesterday. But it was going to be an up-and-down game for Dak the rest of the way. The Cowboys QB was sacked 4 times, threw a pick, and lost 1 of his 2 fumbles. Late in the 4th, Dak would connect for his 2nd touchdown of the game, but just not enough. Cowboys come up short, 26-15. So, Shannon, what letter grade would you give Dak for this performance?
What he got last week, Skip? Bringing it home. That's one thing I can say. He's a consistent student. He's a good student. The thing that I love most about, if I was a teacher, I would love about students is that we're consistent. You come to class on time, you're courteous, you do your homework, you pass it in. Regardless of the grade that you get, you do your homework, you turn it in, you ask questions. The one thing I can count on Dak, I knew what he was going to give me. F!
Well, you gave him a triple F last week, right?
Yeah, I gave him an F. I'm going to give him an F this time because, Skip told me, he's not a turnover machine like your guy. Oh, bounce it to him. Oh, limp it to him. At W-I-N-C. When he throw the... Yeah. All that.
Yeah.
Skip, look at him.
True.
And look.
Yeah.
Look what happened to you.
Do you want to start comparing him to Wentz? Yikes.
You still didn't get back to him. I need you to tell me what the weather was like in Dallas. Inside Jerry world.
Climate control. Beautiful.
Hold on. So let me get this straight. There was no rain, no snow. It wasn't cold. So footing wasn't a problem.
Yep.
And this is what I got?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
What is it? What did you get exactly?
Nothing. Okay, Dak Prescott had 156 yards and a touchdown in the first half. 51 of those yards came on the opening drive. So for the rest of the game, because they scored on their first drive, so for the rest of the half, he had 106 yards.
What was the score at halftime?
Whoa. The score was 13-7.
It should have been 13-10.
I don't know what
Chip shot.
I don't know what
35-yard field goal that he set up.
You know what? My mom said she was hoping for a girl. So I guess I should have been a girl. But look what Lord and behold, I came out a guy. But anyway, okay, now, in the 3rd quarter, when the game is right there, it's right there. Because Skip Bayless said, here's quarterback. Right there on him for him to take it for a silver platter. Dak Prescott in the 3rd quarter, 7 of 12, 87 yards, no touchdown. But let me tell you what he did in the 4th quarter. 112 yards and a touchdown, because what had happened, Skip Bayless, the game had got out of reach. And that's what your guy does. Empty calories means nothing to me, because when I needed him to deliver, he brought me nothing.
Nothing?
Zero, zilch, less than nothing.
Okay.
Nada, nothing, not. Skip Bayless, at some point in time, but I keep telling you this, it happened in the Green Bay game. But look at my quarterback. I'm so proud of him. He's a warrior. Empty calories. Score was 31-3. He threw no touchdowns. Had picks when the score was within 2 scores. Nothing. We see Minnesota. Oh, you could rail against Jason Garrett. Jason, you took the ball. Todd Archer wrote a story. Clarence Hill Jr. wrote a story. Bill Barnwell. This is Dak's team. And they took the ball out of his hands. They said, okay. Jason Garrett said, okay. Kellen Moore. I don't care. Come hell or high water, put the ball in Dak Prescott's hand. Not a god dog if it isn't flooding. Here we go, Skip Bayless. There's nothing.
Wait a second. It wasn't like they shut Zeke out of the offense.
Whoa. Time out. I don't know. Skip Bayless. Did you know this? I don't know if you know this, Skip. They say most accidents of drivers happen within a 5-mile radius from their home. You can get on a car and go from here, L.A., where we are right now, we're in Central City, and drive to Boston, drive to New York, drive to Miami, and it's on your way home that most accidents would occur. And guess what happens, Skip? You get out to this great start. You're 5 miles from home, which is 5 games, and you crash the car.
Don't really get the analogy, but
The
whatever.
analogy is- the
I'll
analogy-
roll with it, whatever.
the
I get the
analogy-
gist of it.
The analogy
Yeah.
is...
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm saying. And your guy, he's the driver, crashed this car at home. He went all over Miami and Washington, and the Giants went to Giants. You see my quarterback. And I'll be doggone it. He come back, pulling the car in the garage, Jenny. I keep calling you Jen, and got a big old scratch. Now I got to take it to the body shop.
Oh, wow.
That's what your guy did. He gets an F. And if you give him anything other than that, Skip Bayless, you're wrong. You know it. You know it.
I don't know it.
You
gave
do.
him a triple F for at New England.
Yes.
Which should be like a G. Is there a G grade you can get? Or
Well, I told you, he got a grade so low he needed a crane to pull it.
Did he get an H? I don't know.
I gave him a grade so low last week, Jen, he needed a crane to pull it up.
Really?
That's how low the grade was.
And this is the same man who just 2 games ago at Detroit gave my quarterback,
David.
Dak Prescott, in a game they barely hung on and won, gave him an A++.
Yes.
Against the same Lions who made yesterday, live on Fox, a star of Mitchell Trubisky.
They did.
They made Mitchell Trubisky a star of stars.
Right.
He took the stage. He got interviewed after the game by Aaron Andrews. You've made it.
Eating turkey legs live on TV.
How about it? Your 15 seconds of fame. There it is. Thanks to the Detroit Lions, and you gave him an A++.
I know, Skip. I didn't give it to him.
Oh.
I'm like Smith Barney. He earned it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he earned it.
Lord
And just
have
like
mercy.
and he got this, what he got yesterday, he earned it. He got it the old-fashioned way.
So I'm going to give my quarterback a C+ for yesterday. And it starts with degree of difficulty. Buffalo is really, really good on defense. Even you admit that now.
Yes.
They came in having allowed the 3rd fewest points in the whole league to New England, San Francisco 1 and 2, and then Buffalo. And their pass unit, their coverage unit is ranked 3rd in all of football. Because those guys between Trey White and Micah Hyde, boy, they can just lock you up and lock you down and lock you out. So the degree of difficulty is extraordinarily high. They just don't allow 300-yard passers, but my guy managed 355, which is by far the most yards thrown against these guys all years. So the point is, I'm going to give him a C+, starting with degree of difficulty. And given the fact my quarterback will not go down, man, he will not quit. He just kept coming back and fighting, running for first downs. He ran for 1 first down where he just lowered his head and ran over 2 Bills. Maybe not the smartest play, but that's why my team will continue to play hard for that quarterback. So to your point, he had 2 big turnovers, and I told you, all on him, 2 blunders, but they're desperation kind of blunders. First one is you're waiting for Pollard just to get loose, just get free because we got him because they're blitzing over here and there's nobody left over there.
They got you, though, Skip.
And they got us because you wait too long and you get hit as you try to throw and you throw it to the defensive tackle.
Yes.
Okay, it's a mistake of desperation. And the next one, he's just holding the ball, and he doesn't see the inside rusher gets loose behind him, which is rare, because usually you can kind of keep him in your sight line, but he gets completely past Suafila, the backup left guard, all the way around you and knocks the ball out of your hand as you are starting to throw. Okay? So, again, desperation, waiting too long, trying too hard for those 2. Yet, despite those 2, he brings them right back down after Buffalo obviously capitalized with the trick play touchdown, but he drives them all the way down for a 35-yard field goal, all the way from the 25 to the 17. The game's still on the line. 35-yard field goal is going to cut it to 13-10 at halftime. I'd be pretty happy with that, the way the second quarter had gone. Well, and you're going to give him an F for that?
Oh, hold on, Skip, hold on. And he would have had a second interception, had that phantom hands to the face. Well, I didn't see 97 hit Dak in the face. Did you see that?
Absolutely,
I did not
He
see
struck
it.
him right under the chin.
No.
What are you talking about? You need a new TV.
No,
on
I don't
that
need no
one.
new TV.
I'd be the first to say it was Phantom. Now, Phantom was tripping twice at New England.
No.
Even you admitted, I don't see any trip.
What about that backup safety? When Josh Allen, the first drive they had, he slid and 23 hit it?
Yeah.
Was that for unnecessary roughness?
I would have thrown a flag on that one.
because they gave it to Dak. When 97 came and piled on him at the end, they gave it to Dak.
Yeah.
But that's all right. Go ahead, keep on going.
All right. So the point is, Dak drove, and then here he comes again out of the opening field goal of the second half, and he drives him from the 25 all the way to Buffalo's 29. And then we get to that last ill-fated play that Jerry put his hand over his face about. Dak had driven his team from the 25 all the way down to the 6. These are long, hard drives against a really good defense, not to mention the opening drive, 75 yards in 9 plays. Well, just those 4 drives alone, with the game still hanging in the balance, you can't give him an F for that.
I did.
I'm going C+. Well, you can because you hate him.
No. Hold on,
you hate him, you hate Dallas.
But you know what you keep saying? Degree of difficulty. Skip, I can't hope to be an astrophysicist and hope to take gym classes. This is the NFL.
Oh, well,
You're a top-tier team, so you got to beat them. So guess what you think?
Wait a second. Did you see Carson Wentz against 2 teams in a row, New England and Seattle, at home?
I saw Carson Wentz go to Buffalo and hang 31 on that team. I saw him walk into him. Did you see that?
I saw Walker Tuam have disaster games against New England and Seattle that they needed desperately to win
Dallas
at
didn't.
home. And what's that?
Did Dallas need that game against New England?
Okay. Well, what I'm saying is, my guy is not inaccurate. What I saw from Carson Wentz are bounce it to him passes where I'm looking like, you can't throw straight anymore, man.
The one that he skipped the Z?
You have lost your accuracy, which is the #1 trait a quarterback needs. Did my quarterback look inaccurate to you yesterday?
All I know, Skip.
Did he look inaccurate?
No, I'll tell you what he did look. He looked like a turnover machine because 9 of the 12 games, he's giving it to the other team. 9 of the 12.
You want me to start in on Carson W-I-N-C-E Wentz?
We're
like every time I look up, he's fumbling.
We're going to talk about him on Monday.
Who's lost the most fumbles, Wentz or Dak?
We're going to talk about
it's like 10-1.
We're going to talk about him on Monday. But right now, your guy has the floor.
Why are we going to talk about him on Monday? They play at Dolphins. I don't care about that. I would hope you could put up some. You know what my guy did to the Dolphins?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we talked about it.
Yeah.
And you had, that's my guy. And everybody talked about he's the MVP and yada, yada, yada. Jerry said, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl. And now look at him.
So
in counseling.
My guy goes 32 of 49. That's a pretty good percentage. For 355. And he does have the 2 turnovers, but he throws for 2 touchdowns.
Okay, if you don't mind me asking.
Boy, I don't know, and you gave him an F? Did that look like a Carson Wentz performance?
If you don't mind me asking, you love QBR. It measures a quarterback from 0 to 100, 50 being average. If you don't mind, can you share with people at home what was Dak Prescott's QBR yesterday?
40, was it 4, 43?
43!
44.
So
no, it's 44.
Hold on, if 50 is average and he came in of a 43, what is that?
Can you share with our fans out there, if we have any left? I know we don't have any Cowboy fans left. Can you share with our viewers out there what the QBRs are for the season of Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz right now? Where do they rank in overall QBR for the season? Help them out. You know.
No,
well, you got to leave it there, guys.
No, we haven't finished.
No?
Dak is 3rd in the league, and Carson Wentz is way down at 11th.
He's 3rd as of today. When the other guys play on Sunday, he will not be 3rd.
Oh, well, now you're projecting and predicting.
I know. I don't need to project. I already saw what he did.
Will Carson Wentz go up from 11th up
Going
against
up.
the Dolphins?
But I got some. I've been saving some good stuff. I got some more stuff for you because I got a feeling we're gonna revisit this whole Cowboy topic. But I ain't used all my ammo on you just yet.
Really? Somebody gave you some new ammo?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna empty the chamber.
Okay.
You go get it.
Sure
You go get it, Skip Bayless. But turkey, I never knew turkey tastes so good. There ain't something about that turkey thing with the Cowboy getting them heads back. Gee, hell. It just goes down so much better.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I hate to admit it, but I threw mine up last night.
Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you did.
So much drama in Dallas. You've also got the Amari Cooper injury. He did come back in, but he's going to have tests on that knee today.
Yeah.
Kicking situation
did
being
come back in.
reevaluated.
He said 2 targets
Are
with
the
enough.
Cowboys finished?
No mercy.
The Cowboys jumped out to an early 7-0 lead yesterday over the Bills, but pretty much all downhill from there. Dak threw a pick and lost 1 of 2 fumbles while being sacked 4 times. Zeke ran well early, averaging nearly 6 yards a carry, but then Buffalo reeled off 26 unanswered points. Dak led Dallas to a second TD late in the 4th, but just not enough to power Dallas to a win. Fox Sports NFL analyst now joining us, Eric Dickerson. Thanks
Here
so
we
much
go.
for being here.
Here we go.
We need a voice of reason. Weigh in.
We need a closet Cowboy.
Oh, my God.
Sealy,
No, you did not, Skip. No, you did not.
Come on.
Are the Cowboys done this season?
Well, I'll say this much here. When you talk to people about the Dallas Cowboys, I was at the Combine. We talked to people who are not Cowboy fans and Cowboy fans. We were talking about it yesterday. This team is so talented. They're too talented to be 6-6. You know, will they win the NFC East? I think they'll still win the NFC East.
You do?
I do. I think.
Wow.
I think.
We have a dissenting voice here.
Because they're that talented. I mean, I don't think they can screw it up that bad. I do. I don't think it's screw. But I do say this. That's why I kept saying, Skip. I said they're contenders, but they're also pretenders. And the pretenders part is that they will not be going to no Super Bowl. You can forget that part. The contender part is they were very good in the beginning when they beat the Giants, they beat the Redskins, Miami. Oh, we hot, we this, we that. I mean, but they have a lot of talent. When I look at this game yesterday, well, to me, this game got messed up by Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator. Zeke should have been running that rock. If you let's reverse that. Let's say Zeke would have ran the ball 30 times and Dak had threw the ball 20 to 80. We'd been having a different conversation here. Because Zeke had 71 yards, I think, in 12 carries.
12 carries.
He only carried the ball twice in the second half.
When you're down 6.
Now, how do you even do that? One thing about, and I know what you're going to say, Skip, well, 2 of those runs came on Biggie, a 39-yard and he had a 15-yard. It's not about, that's how the running game works. When you run the football, all of a sudden, that team over there, they get tired of looking at it. The Cowboys supposed to have the best offensive line in football.
So they say.
That's what they say. So for me, you know, this game, you got to put it on Jason Garrett. Now, he's the head coach. But Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, I think he screwed that up.
Yeah, he's done. I've been told Skip they were done. Me and Skip put 5 Ks of doing at the beginning of the season, said they were done. I know because they show no fight. 0-5 against winning teams. That's what the Cowboys are. Now, Skip loves QBRG, and I mentioned it earlier. 0 to 100, 50 being average. Edie, guess what Dak Prescott QBR is against winning teams? The 5 teams they lost to. 49! Which means he's less than that.
Bad.
No, hold on.
Mediocre.
Whoa! Mediocre.
So no mediocre quarterback should be in the MVP discussion.
Yeah.
No mediocre quarterback should get 40 mil.
Yeah. Well, it pulls that down when you get a 15 in the driving rain and gusts of 30 miles an hour and temperature plunging to 35 at New England.
Was it Gus yesterday?
15.
No.
15 at New England. 15. How do you do against the Vikings? They got a really good defense.
And caught an L.
Yeah.
How do you do against Green Bay? Caught an L.
Big QBR.
You know, notice I said winning teams? Winning teams. Teams that's more probable than not to make the playoffs. Nothing, Skip Bayless. ED, all this, I'm blowing up my timeline, breaking news, all the red come on, breaking news on my phone. I thought it was an Amber Alert. Cowboy players can be heard yelling in the locker room. What kind of bull job is this? You was on the field. You had 60 minutes to slap, bite, do whatever you can to win the game. And you wait till you get into the locker room and show some emotion, to show some compassion, and got Jerry crying. Jason got my back. I got his back. No, I want to hear none of that. The team not going to the playoff. I prepared you for this, Skip Bayless, and that's what a friend does.
Oh, yeah.
A friend walks. A friend. I'm a true friend. I walk in when the rest of the world walks out. You can always count on me, Skip. I'm like, you know what, Skip? I'm like David and Jonathan. You know, because Jonathan was the rightful heir to Saul's kingdom. But he realized that David was the chosen one. Skip Bayless, I'm going to walk with you, bro. I will never leave your side. You my guy. And I prepared you for this because I don't like to see you hurt. Somebody hurt Skip Bayless, they hurt Shannon Sharpe. That's how close me and this man is.
Is he hurting?
I love it.
By the way, the one player who was heard to be yelling in the locker room was one Michael Bennett. He has been a Dallas Cowboy for all of 33 days.
Yeah.
So he wasn't there through thick and thin. He came out of nowhere. He does have a ring that he won in Seattle.
But he plays with passion.
Okay.
It matters to him.
He was the one screaming, "We're better than this." And I believe it got contentious, even though Dak said, well, that way I got to give credit to Michael Bennett because he was the one who was instigating that discussion in the locker room.
Right.
But it's ironic that it came from the one guy with the ring, although Cam Fleming, who's the backup right tackle, has 2 rings thanks to Tom Brady. But I don't know that Cam Fleming has ever spoken a word in his life. So he's just a wallflower in the locker room. He doesn't count. Michael Bennett will make his voice heard in any locker room, especially in that one. So back to the question at hand. Are they done? I cannot tell a lie. D-O-N-E, done. Despite what the Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson said, that you can spell it any way you want to spell it, they are D-U-N done. They are done, as in obviously done, right? Just done because they're done, right? What evidence do I have that they can suddenly flip some weird, bizarre switch this late in the year into December?
They did it last year.
That's
They
what the
did
argument.
not. They did it at mid-year. They were 3-5.
Right, they flipped the
By
switch.
the way, was Ezekiel Elliott on that team at 3-5?
Yeah, Dak
he was
was
there,
too.
and they were just feeding him. Feed the beast. Let him eat. And they went 3-5 with Ezekiel. I'm so sick and tired of both of your arguments because it's just fallacious. It's wrong. It's simple. They got to run the football,
Gotta.
says the best running back who ever walked.
Yeah.
So
They
what
gotta run
else
it.
is he going to say?
But-
Run the ball. Run the rock. I
Skip,
get it.
Skip, when you run a running back like Zeke 12 times
Okay,
in a
you're-
hold on,
okay,
hold
look,
on. In a
no,
big
you
game
don't
like
get it.
this. No, you don't get it. At the running back position, you have to get into a real rhythm.
Right.
It's about a rhythm. 12 carries not going to get you a rhythm.
How many
Skip,
wasted
hold on,
first
hold
downs
on.
do I have to watch until he finds his rhythm?
You know what? Your defense was playing pretty good. I mean, they were in the game. They were in the
Not
game.
really.
But they were in the game. They were in the game. So if you run the football, if you wear that Bills defense down, run the way he was running the ball, why wouldn't you run it?
Skip, and
Why
that
wouldn't
point
you
rush
run it?
defense.
Yeah, why-
Their strong suit is pass defense. Their weakness is run defense.
Okay. Do you realize what happened? So he has the 2 early runs, and they go for a grand total of 13 and 30. But they're backed up. It's 1st and 10 at the 5, and they kind of catch him off guard for 2 big hit runs that get you out to Buffalo's 47-yard line. And then guess who's in the game at that point? Not Cabo Zeke. He needs a blow. Cabo Zeke. He's over there. He's getting oxygen because he had 2 long runs. Tony Pollard's in the game. On 2nd down, they give it to Tony Pollard and he gets 4 yards. And all of a sudden, it's 3rd and 6. And Dak gets hassled in the pocket. He's under fire and he bolts the pocket and flings one up the sideline to Amari and Trey White, who's maybe the 2nd best corner. He's up there with those guys. He gets a hand on the ball, knocks it down, and they have to punt. So those are 2 wasted runs. Then we have the all-or-nothing. Jason Garrett, gamble, go for it on 4th and a foot at the 19-yard line. And they get it. Here they come. A big pass to Amari, 17 yards. And now here we go. It's 1st and 10 at the Dallas 41. Up, back to Zeke. And they hand it. They actually is more of a toss play. And he loses his balance, and
But the whole left side
thing
got
got
beat.
defeated.
Yeah,
Everybody
the
got
left side got
defeated.
whipped.
And it's -4. And it's a drive killer because it looked like Jason Garrett had pulled off the gamble that had ignited the 2019 Dallas Cowboys. And they have to punt. And it's over. It just felt like psychologically over.
But you know what? In games like that, you know, those are critical plays. But if you run the ball, I'm gonna go hypothetically. Let's say Zeke would have went into halftime with 15 carries, and he had his 60 yards. And you come out in the second half, and you commit, and I say the word commit. It's not always popular at first. Commit to run the ball another 15 times. 15 times, 15 to 12 times. I guarantee you, some of these 3rd downs you're talking about in 2nd down, they'd have been different.
Okay.
It'd have been different.
I'm going to beat this table all week long into next week because the week from last night, they play at the Bears up in Chicago. You know it's going to be cold on that night, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to pound the table to give it to Zeke 35 times. And you know what? A lot of them are going to be 1s and 2s and 0s and -1s.
And then
it's
a 30.
going to wear me out.
Then a 30.
Yeah, okay.
Then a 15.
All right. I don't see enough of those because those are the first 2 flashes of the old Zeke I saw all year.
But I notice you don't never say when Dak throws the incompletion on 1st down, oh, stop throwing it
Stop throwing the ball.
and run the ball.
You know why? Because there are not many incompletes.
Oh, yeah.
They do throw it unpredictably on 1st down. So my bottom line is that, to your point, they are not mathematically done. Even if the Eagles go Sunday and win at the Dolphins, they're still technically in first place, right? But they are psychologically done because you just ran headlong into a wall known as the Buffalo Bills. And I think they just sit back and say, we've lost our way. They've lost their edge. They lost their momentum. They've lost their mojo. This team doesn't know how to win a game anymore because it's beaten not one team with a winning record. How do you flip a switch at Chicago? They're pretty good at home. Right?
Good defense.
Pretty good.
How are you going to beat then are you predicting they're going to beat the Rams? Is the Ram bastard because they come to? I don't think they can beat the Rams now.
That's gonna be it depends if we want to run the football. If we decide we want to run, we might want to throw it too.
Well, at least
if we throw it, y'all will beat us.
Hey, at least I have a quarterback. You don't.
No mercy.
Welcome back to Undisputed. Time to dive into Super 6 NFL Sunday, the free-to-play game where you can win up to $250,000 of Terry Bradshaw's money. One of the matchups we're watching this week, 49ers Ravens. MVP frontrunner Lamar Jackson and his electric offense will face a tough task Sunday, going against that suffocating defense of the 49ers. San Fran's head coach Kyle Shanahan talked about what exactly makes Lamar so dangerous and what separates him from other good running quarterbacks like Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. Take a listen.
He's just different in that he's just he's a running back when he has the ball. You know, with the other two guys, they can make a lot of plays with their legs and stuff, but eventually they're going to slide and things like that. This guy, he is a running back out there and a quarterback when he's throwing, but he can run hard. You got to bring him down. He can take the hits, and he also can deliver them.
All right, AD, you're chuckling. Do you agree with Kyle Shanahan's assessment of Lamar?
You saw him up close in person, but
You got to look away when you say that. I'll say this. I'm going to go back to when I talked to Ozzie Newsome about him when they drafted him. I talked to him at the Hall of Fame. I said, tell me about Lamar Jackson. I said, is he the real deal? Because I thought he was. He said, he's the real deal. He says, he's not a project, because people have been saying he's a project. He said, he's going to be a star in this league. And it's showing exactly what he's talking about. He's a star. Is he a running back when he has the ball? Yes, he runs like a running back. The thing about football now is that it wasn't in the 80s and the 90s, is that you can't really hit a quarterback. And I mean really go after him. You know, like you could grab him, body slam him, drive him into the ground. You can't do that. I mean, even if he's still he's a running back, he got the ball, they're not going to let you do that to a quarterback. When I think about Lamar, I think Pete Carroll said that when I saw him on film, he's faster. But in person, he's a lot faster. What I saw on Monday night, man, I'm like, man, this guy is really fast. I mean, real fast. And you think about Pete Carroll, I know he probably said, you know what? I miss Vince Young, but I'm going to get a chance to get this guy. I'm going to show you how to stop him. And when Pete Carroll couldn't stop him, it just shows that I was worried about that game. When I saw it on the scale, I said, I'm worried about this football game. And the way Lamar played against us, I don't see the 49ers stopping him. You know, they're 19th against the rush.
Yep.
for me.
And by the way, you have your own Ozzie story. I heard the same thing.
I do, yeah, because I talked to him at the Hall of Fame this year, and I said, Ozzie, I mean, what's going on? He said, boy, he the real deal. He said, he's throwing the ball better than we would have thought at this juncture. Yep. Now, we knew he could progress. We knew what his legs were because we obviously, we broke him down on tape. But he can throw the ball. He's going to surprise a lot of people with how well he throws the football this year.
He might even be surprising Ozzie a little bit.
Yes. Right? Skip, I agree with everything Kyle says because when he's talking about there's two quarterbacks in his own division, Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. Skip, when they take off running, they're looking to get the first down, get down, and that's it.
Absolutely.
When he takes off running, he's looking to hit his head on the goalpost. That's because, you know, like a running back, you can take an angle. He's like, okay, this is the angle I'm going to take, and this is how I'm going to get him before he gets ahead of steam. Once he breaks the line of scrimmage, Lamar Jackson breaks the line of scrimmage, what angle? You just hope he doesn't outrun your angle. That's his thing. He's tremendous. He's so elusive, and there have been very few quarterbacks. You know, obviously, Vic, when we think of running quarterback, we think of Michael Vick and Randall Cunningham. But this kid is different. This kid has wiggle. This kid he shakes like a running back. Like Barry, you know, like Barry was stopping and starting and spinning on people. This is what he is. But he can throw the ball.
Oh, can he?
Skip. 49ers better be careful because you saw what Russell Wilson did. We saw what Kyler Murray had him on the rope.
Hey, at San Francisco, Kyler had him on the rope.
Yes, and Russell went to San Francisco and knocked him out. This kid is playing obviously better than Kyler, but is he and Russell Wilson in the MVP discussion?
I got it.
Kyle knew exactly what he was talking about. We're going to have to tackle him. We're going to have to treat him like a running back. Put hats on him.
Hit him.
And more than one play, rally to the football. Because one guy usually don't bring this guy down. So we got to rally to the football or he's going to have one of those games, Skip. 100-plus yards rushing, 200-plus yards passing, and they're going to be 10-2.
I'm so glad our man Eric Dickerson is here for this discussion because I consider you the greatest running back ever. And quick story about Eric Dickerson, your first practice at SMU as a true freshman, your coach, Ron Meyer, called me at home, and I was living within about a mile of your practice field at SMU. And he said, you have to come to our afternoon workout today because I've never seen anything like this kid. And it was man among boys because you came out of Sealy, Texas and stepped on the practice field and nobody could deal with you. The juniors and seniors could not deal with him.
He was the same size.
Okay.
He was 6'2", 230 in high school.
I was fast.
So that was revolutionary to have somebody that big, that tall, running sort of upright, just blowing through people. Nobody could get you on the ground. And this is happening again. This kid is revolutionizing what I've seen of the quarterback position because to my eye test right now, when he has the ball in his hands, he is the best running back or runner, to use Kyle's point, runner in pro football. I don't see anybody. I know Dalvin Cook has been explosive and extraordinary, but when this kid gets loose, it's unbelievable what's happening. And he is also, right now, to my eye test, the deadliest thrower of the football in the whole league. Well, what a combo.
Yes.
And by the way, his IQ, his vision, it's up there with Drew Brees. That's what I'm seeing as far as being able to read, or Tom Brady, where you're reading and seeing. Does he not make the right choice quickly every time?
I think you guys, you play Madden football? Any of you gamers? You're probably not gamers. Well, I'm going to tell you, the gamers, because I play a little Madden football, and I'm a gamer. When you watch Lamar Jackson, it's like he's the best player with the best team. It's like playing on rookie mode. Like, you're throwing for 1,000 yards, you're running for 500, you just kind of do what you want to do. That is how he plays the game. He is like playing Madden football on rookie mode. He's that good. And I'm surprised, just like you said, I'm surprised how well he can throw the football. Monday night, man, he made our defense look really bad. And when the team went into halftime, I said, I'm out of here. I said, this game, I felt bad. I felt bad.
Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey and Wade Phillips, and he's toying with you.
Going up and down, he's going up and down the field. Because he's better, you watch him and he's changing arm angles. There's a situation, there's a defender right there in front of him, and he drops and goes sidearm.
Okay.
And the ball, and everybody's talking about this throwing motion. I was like, the ball comes out of his hands quicker than you think. Quick.
Flicks missiles.
Yeah, he don't have an elongated throwing motion. The ball is here, and it's like, and it's out of his hands.
Okay, San Francisco at Baltimore, your score is?
I got the Ravens 24-20.
Closer game than I would think.
Ravens 27-17.
Really? I'm going to go big on this one. I think Lamar is leading the hottest buzzsaw team in all of pro football. I think it's going to be a wipeout. I got 28-10 Lamar and company because their defense is starting to play up to the offense.
Play well.
Right?
I got one more thing for you, too. I'm going to say this in the first segment.
Is this a Cowboy?
It's a Cowboy. It's a Cowboy thing. I'm going to give you a surprise. I'm going to give you a surprise. You're a big Oklahoma guy, aren't you? You know who I think they're going to hire after they...
No.
Yes.
Don't do it.
Yes. I got to say it.
No.
Come on. Lincoln Riley.
No.
Lincoln Riley.
No,
Come on.
I'm done on that one.
You don't want Lincoln Riley?
You don't want Lincoln Riley?
Have you seen their defense this year? It might be as bad as it was last year. I don't want all offense, no defense. Come on. It's the wrong mindset. It's Cliff Kingsbury. It's okay.
You don't want him to leave Oklahoma.
Well, that's true. I think he's a better fit there. But no, I don't want to.
You don't want that?
I'll take another college coach. I'll take Jim Harbaugh. Because all he did at San Francisco was win big.
Grind on you.
Yeah, but these are pros. The pro players don't,
were the 49ers not pros when he elevated Colin Kaepernick into the lineup?
They got he's hard to put up with, let's put it like that. You hear it, he's hard to put up with.
He also got them to 3 straight championship games and a Super Bowl they should have won.
Yeah, but, that was then, this is now.
Okay.
We're not going to let your blood pressure drop all morning, apparently.
Yeah, now you're killing me with that.
No mercy. So Cole Beasley's first game back in Dallas, and he made it a statement one. The Texas native caught 6 passes for a season-high 110 yards and a touchdown against his former team. After the game, Beasley said the Cowboys not only disrespected him by not paying more attention to him yesterday, but also by how they ended his tenure in Dallas. Beasley says, quote, "I'm just glad I'm in a place where coaches believe in me. Teammates believe in me, and they give me opportunities to do what I do. It's a different kind of brotherhood here, and we're always together. That's part of why I said I'd play here until the wheels fall off." He said it wasn't a revenge game, but his performance says differently. Skip, we're going to start with you. What is your reaction to Beasley's performance yesterday?
For me, this was the ultimate humiliation. For me, this just ripped my guts out. I did not see this coming, and I told you yesterday, sitting right here in this chair, Please don't let Cole Beasley have an Anthony Davis game at Jerry World. And when I'm talking about the game,
You know my pain.
the night before, Anthony Davis went back to New Orleans and scored 41. And Cole effectively scored 41 on Dallas last night. Little measly Beasley, as we used to call him, 5'8", 174 pounds, had the second biggest game of his career yesterday. And I had predicted that Amari would go for 105 yards. And Amari had an okay game. He had 85. But little measly Beasley, who grew up in the shadows of Frisco, Texas, and Little Elm, Texas, not very far from where the Cowboys' new headquarters are, who then went to Southern Methodist University in the heart of Dallas, Texas, came back to haunt them with 110 yards receiving. And it's the second biggest game to a game that he had against the Eagles that the Cowboys lost back in 2015 when he had 112. So this is right up there. Worse, he catches the game-tying 7-7 touchdown pass from 25 yards from Josh Allen on a play that he said he brought with him from SMU that the Cowboy coaches apparently weren't interested in, but that the Bills coaches loved. And I'm not sure exactly what it was because it didn't look like much of a route to me. It's kind of a little delay over the middle route against the zone. He just finds a soft spot, and he was gone. But then the ultimate humiliation came in a play in the third quarter, which was a big play in the opening field goal drive of the third quarter. It's 3rd and 4 at the Cowboy 35. I'm sorry, they're 35, Buffalo 35. And here it is. And Josh Allen finds Cole Beasley, and Xavier Woods, my safety, comes up, and he's so frustrated with little measly Beasley that he goes completely haywire, out of character. He reaches down and rips his helmet off. Yeah. Well, this is like Myles Garrett. He goes Myles Garrett on Cole Beasley. And little Beasley did not like it. And he had lots of words for Xavier Woods, but he said after the game, I don't think he meant anything by it. He was just out of his mind frustrated because they couldn't stop him. And then the ultimate humiliation for me is that Cole said after the game, I feel like I was disrespected a little bit when I played here, but even today, I thought they should have put more attention on me. So they put little Jordan Lewis on him the whole game, and it's just not enough.
Cooked him.
He cooked him because he is a little scat. He is just...
Skip, most slot receivers at some point in their career return punts. Because that's what you have. You look at Edelman, you look at Wes Welker, you look at these guys, Dante Hall. You look at anybody that plays the slot because you want a guy that has great start quickness.
Yep.
So to be able to work in a confined space but can accelerate instantaneously.
And Beasley used to return punts for Dallas in large part because they knew he could catch it.
Right.
Okay.
And see, Skip, the thing is with Beasley, and the reason he's talking like this, he's like, he knew what he could do against these guys. Skip, he's gone against them for the last 2 to 3 years in practice every day. And he's like, I'm doing this in practice, but they don't call plays for me in the game, and I'm not so sure that my teammates believe that I can actually do it in the game. He says it's great to go somewhere where the coaches believe in you and your teammates believe in you. Well, they believed in him to the tune of 110 yards and a touchdown yesterday.
They did.
Because he was looking for it.
Yep.
And, Skip, I'm not surprised they didn't put more attention because it's hard. Like, when you go into a game, Skip, now, if you go into a game, he's like, okay, Julio, we're going to double Julio, or we're going to double this certain guy. Okay, you worked on it all week, but it's kind of hard, Skip, to double on the fly because now you get, well, I thought you had outside. No, I got outside. I thought you had. And so now everything's haywire. But they really thought Jordan Lewis could handle Beasley by himself.
They thought that.
That's why they didn't pay him any extra attention.
That is correct.
But he gave it to him. I mean, it's always nice to go back and want to do a number. They didn't believe in him, Skip. I mean, and that's why he had those choice words when he went to Buffalo.
He did.
He had a lot to say. But Skip, when they believe in you, when your coaching staff believe in you, and the way they believe in you, they call plays for you in the game. You can say, oh, yeah, he's our guy, yada, yada, yada. But how many plays, and especially, Skip, once they got Amari, it was that connection between Dak and Amari.
It was.
And me, because you mentioned it, he went from 77 one year all the way down to like 35, 38 the next year.
He did.
So I'm happy for him, but Jordan Lewis, he's like, I don't want to see measly Beasley anymore.
That is correct. And I said when they signed Randall Cobb, it was an upgrade.
Yeah,
I told you that. And by the way, his stats through this year have been slightly upgraded over Cole's stats. But yesterday, the other weird development was, or undevelopment was, it took all the way to 2:41 left in the third quarter before Randall Cobb got his first target. I actually looked. I Googling for pregame, did he not dress? I couldn't find him.
Right.
I started thinking, was he hurt? Did he get hurt during the game? Your first target comes with 2:41 in the third. He's been featured game after game, right? And then Dak goes to him for 17 and then quickly hit him for 13, and early in the fourth quarter hit him for 23. And I'm saying, well, where was that? You say, where was Zeke? Well, where was this? You couldn't take some advantage of him, and he wound up with 53 yards for the game, which is not all bad.
How your boy Amari look yesterday? He said he can't dominate with 2 catches. Can you dominate with 11 targets?
Yep. Well, he did okay, caught 85 yards worth. I thought he was pretty good. Then, unfortunately, he got flipped at the end of the game.
And Dak got flipped, too. You see, Skip, that's how guys are going to start attacking Dak. Because they go up high, he runs over him and gets the first down. If you notice the next time, they're coming in 5 or below.
Okay.
Because he's such a big man, I'm not going to have you running over me and getting fired up and first down and firing your sideline up. I'm just going to take your legs out from under you.
Well, Amari can be a little fragile, and so now he's getting an X-ray today on his knee, and I don't know. But the good news was he did suck it up yesterday, and he came back to play out the rest of the game, even in garbage time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because your guy's real good in garbage time. Mop up.
Really?
Mop up. Oh, they call him Mop Up Mike.
Do they?
Yeah.
Really?
When the game's out of hand, Skip, you know the guy that when the game's out of hand, you're down by 25, they put the guy in, he ends up with 10 points. You're like, oh, this dude can really play. But when he starts the game, dude has 2 points in 30 minutes. That's old Dak.
Well, it got so bad that Dak had to throw a touchdown pass late to somebody named Ventel Bryant off the practice squad. Yeah. And you might as well buckle up for this, Cowboy Nation, because it could be Ventel Bryant against the Bears in Chicago a week from last night.
Bears.
Yeah, there you go. I want to congratulate Beasley on a night to remember.
Yeah, he probably dropped a hot track this morning, too, because Beasley in that rap game.
No.
Old Coleslaw.
He probably dropped one.
Yeah, he dropped a nice little diss track.
Little diss track on Dallas, the Dallas diss, right? Cole does Dallas. Way to go.
I mean, he wanted to stay there, Skip. I mean, the guy from Texas playing for his hometown.
I know.
I mean, hometown, his crosstown team.
Correct.
And they get him up out of there.
Yep.
Say, see, Dak, you could have been, this could have been you and I.
And by the way, as unimpressed as I was with my team, I was impressed with Buffalo. And Sean McDermott talked about guys like Beasley who have come there to find sort of a second life in the NFL because they got a whole locker room full of them.
They do.
And he says they can become the best version of themselves in our locker room because we're family-oriented and we try to play to your strength. Whatever you do best, we will let you do best.
Right.
So it feels like something is brewing in Buffalo to me.
Skip, they don't have a true number one, what we call a star on the offensive side of football.
They do not.
So you don't have to go into the game saying, I got to get this guy level. You go into the game saying, I got to throw Amari Cooper 10, 12 balls. I got to get Gallup his throws. I got to get
totally
Cobb.
agree. Yep.
I got to make sure I get 25 carries to Zeke.
You got to do it.
Here, they're like, who's hot?
Who's hot? We'll go. Yep. It's impressive. Maybe they got a chance at New England because New England still has to deal with them at Foxborough.
No mercy.
The Cowboys have now lost 2 in a row, dropping to 6-6. If the Eagles win against the Dolphins this Sunday, these two teams would be tied atop the NFC East. Hall of Famer Tony Dungy had a message for Jerry Jones after yesterday's Cowboys loss. Take a listen.
I have a message for Jerry Jones. Do not panic. You're okay. Your season is going to come down to going to Philadelphia and getting a win in Week 16. Focus on that.
Easier said than done. Shannon, do you agree that Jerry Jones shouldn't panic?
What you mean shouldn't panic? Hell, he's already panicked. He spoke last week about firing the head coach. This week he crying in the locker room. What you mean don't panic? He's already panicked, Skip Bayless.
No, he's not. He's standing staunchly behind the head coach. I got his back. He's got my back.
Well, Skip, here's the thing, and Jerry alluded to it. Where they want to get, he doesn't believe anybody else can get them where they want to get, like Jason could. And one of his options, Skip, I mean, Rod Marinelli, in 3 years in Detroit, was 10-38, and he has that 0-16 on his resume. Kellen Moore. You think Kellen Moore ready to be the head coach? Skip?
Nope.
Okay, Chris.
Although his father was a head coach, so you do have it sort of in your blood, but go ahead.
Chris Richard, his defense, Skip, they gave him a lot of talent. They brought in Robert Quinn. They played Jalen Smith. They played D-Law. Byron Jones went to the Pro Bowl last year. Wolf Hunter was in the Pro Bowl last year.
I think Jalen Smith was even in the Pro Bowl. So and the defense has not lived up.
Jalen made it, but he could have and should have.
I think it was ultimate. I think he went to a replacement. But Skip, the defense hasn't lived up to what everybody thought they would, given the level of talent that they have on that side of the football. So it was a no-brainer. I never thought for a second that Jerry was going to fire Jason Garrett because he's too tied. He's too connected. He's too much like family. And that's how he views Jason Garrett. I wouldn't be surprised they had Thanksgiving dinner together. Bad as that game was, Jason and his wife went to his house. Jerry, I'm sorry, let's eat.
I agree with that, and I don't think it's far-fetched. I think that probably happened. I don't know it for a fact, but I think it probably has happened many Thanksgivings.
Yes.
They are the first to be invited to Jerry's mansion in the middle of Highland Park, just north of downtown Dallas.
Yep.
You got it. My turn. It has given me just little slivers of hope this morning that the Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson just flat out said, oh, Dallas is still going to win the division. He says they're a pretender in the playoffs. Well, I don't even care about that. If you tell me they're going to win the division, I'll take that right now because I can't see it. And I fell out of my chair last night when I watched live Tony Dungy say that on NBC before the Thursday night game, Thanksgiving night game. And the reason I fell off my chair is my first thought was, Tony, have you been watching this team? I think he has been. Yeah. I have nothing but respect for his football IQ, his acumen, his insight.
Yeah.
And usually when he speaks, I mean, always when he speaks, I listen, but usually he's pretty right. So I'm thinking, what evidence do you see that this team doesn't, I don't care about whatever week he was talking, the Philly game. I care about at Chicago. Seriously, what evidence do I have? Because I've written them completely off. I'm done. I find them hard to watch now because to me, they're just a bunch of, again, they make lots of plays. They don't make winning plays. They are a bunch of entertaining losers to me. That's what they have become. Where they'll entertain you. Gallup will make some circus catch. Amari will make a nice catch on the sideline. Zeke will have a couple of runs where you say, oh, there he is, and he'll do this. It's fun to watch. Dak will make 4 or 5 throws where you say, that's big time. And they're 6-6.
Yep.
So what evidence do I have they could go to Chicago? And I thought it was significant yesterday. Chicago toughed it out and won at Detroit. It's a division rivalry game.
Being down by 14.
They were down by 14, and I know just some kid named Blau was playing, Blau, and he played his tail off in that game, but they were in trouble for a while.
Yes.
And Mitchell Trubisky pulled them out. He was the star of the night, and you can't tell me they don't feel pretty good about getting ready for the Dallas Cowboy visit a week from last night. It's going to be cold. It's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy because everywhere the Cowboys go, it gets crazy. So what evidence do I have that my team is going to flip a switch that Jerry says would be the greatest story ever told switch, where, as Jerry said after the game, you'd be writing about this for 30 years if we turn it around. Yeah, we would.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to be writing about it for 30 more days.
Yeah, we're going to be writing about it 30 years, how you melted down 2 weeks.
Right.
after 2 bad losses.
Okay.
And stuck with Jason Garrett.
Okay, so think about this. Amari Cooper could be lost for at least the Chicago game, if not for the rest of the year.
Right.
Something happened to his knee. He's going to get an x-ray today. He did play the rest of the game, but he can be a little fragile. They said, we are going to take a look, evaluate our kicking situation after the game. So Brett Maher,
What does that evaluate?
you're on the clock.
Yeah, what does that evaluate?
Yeah, well, again, they might have a little kicking tryout this week.
I mean, that's like you work at a restaurant and the chef keep burning all the food. Well, we're going to have, we're going to evaluate our chef situation.
Okay.
What you evaluating? He keep burning everything.
Trouble. He's gone south mentally. You see it all the time from kickers. I'm done with him. You can't trust him.
Not to switch topics here, but you see what New England's done.
Wow.
They guy had an appendectomy, and so now you had 20+ years of great kicking. You have Vinatieri, you have Gronkowski, and you bring one guy in, he didn't work, you get rid of him. You bring another guy in, now you got a third. Now you're on your fourth kicker.
Kai Forbath, late of the Redskins. So now back to my team. To your point, Chris Richard, Rod Marinelli. The defense has just been overrated all year. You tell me about all these Pro Bowls and this and that. You tell me DeMarcus Lawrence gets $100 million. He's overpaid because he disappears. The pass rush, Robert Quinn, Michael Bennett, it comes and mostly goes. It just goes ghost to where I'm like.
But I'm surprised, Skip. I'm surprised with the names you just mentioned that they don't generate more pressure consistently on the quarterback than what they do. Robert Quinn on that turf should be unbelievable.
Okay, but they're not. They are now tied for 26. That defense is in takeaways. Tony Dungy, are you listening? 26 because they've gone 4 straight games with 0 takeaways.
Yeah.
It's hard to win when you don't take the ball away.
Yes.
Right?
Because what that tells me, Skip, is that they're forcing their offense to consistently go the long way to get points.
They don't help it at all.
No.
There's no splash play where you say, "Oh, we scooped and scored," or New England's like every other place. It's like here they go, right?
And Tom Brady's operating on a short field. You see the Ravens; they're operating on short fields. The 49ers, It's hard, Skip. If you got to continuously drive 80 yards, 85, 75 yards to get points, man, you're going to be for a long. I mean, you can have some success doing it that way, but not long term.
So what's always the telling stat in pro football? It's turnover differential. Dallas has now fallen to 23rd in turnover differential because the quarterback turned it over twice again yesterday, and they got none. Okay, so you just keep plummeting. Where show me, Tony, what do you see that I'm not seeing? Because then the Rams visit Jerry World. Jared Goff has had their number. I don't know how, but watch the Rams get well in that game. They're not going to go anywhere, but watch them get well.
Tony, Coach Dungy is a very optimistic type of a guy.
I guess so.
He's always looking at things as half full.
Okay, but mathematically, they're obviously not done. Psychologically, they hit the wall yesterday.
Right.
You can't tell me they feel good about themselves because they know in their heart of hearts, we have lost our way. We've lost our edge.
Well, Skip, you remember, I think the last game, when Tony was coaching at the Colts, they ended up giving almost 400 yards up to the Jaguars.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's no way that's not a Super Bowl caliber team. And Tony just basically said, hey, guys, everything that we want to accomplish is still in front of us. I know we played bad today. And I was like, there's no way this team is winning the Super Bowl. After giving up almost 400 yards rushing,
I know.
And lo and behold.
Okay, all right. But Jerry turned into like a blubbering fool after the game, like your crazy old uncle after Thanksgiving dinner who had a couple of drinks, and all of a sudden he's just blubbering about how I love stories of redemption because I'm the greatest example of redemption. I went bust in the oil fields, right? And my team's going to bounce back from this, and you guys will be writing about it forever. No, we won't.
Well, I mean, that's the rule, Jerry. You ought to know. You know the rules.
Yeah.
You take 1 plate home. You don't get 5 plates to go home with you. And you got to handle your liquor. You can't get all your intoxicated and start acting a fool because I'm going to put you out.
That's what it's
But you can't put Jerry out of his own house.
Yeah.
Cowboys take him to Jerry's house so he can talk as much as he want and ramble as much as he want.
People would think, what, he been smoking? No, maybe drinking. Yeah.
Well, Skip, you see it? I've been drinking. Oh, give me another one.
Yeah.
Oh, give me another one. Yeah. So by the time he got down there, Jerry feeling pretty good, Skip.
Yeah, he was.
This thing got so bad, Jerry just like.
Put his hands over his face.
And they caught it. We caught that too.
Yep. Got it. Tony, thanks for the positivity, but I don't know if it's going to last.
No mercy. Dak Prescott hit Jason Witten for an early TD yesterday against the Bills, but it was downhill from there. The Cowboys QB was sacked 4 times, threw a pick, and lost 1 of 2 fumbles on the way to a 26-15 loss. The Cowboys have now lost 3 of their last 4 and sit at 500, 6-6. Shannon, has Dak now also lost leverage in his contract negotiations?
Dak Prescott has lost 0 leverage because the situation is exactly the same at the start of the season. Dak Prescott holds all the cards. For the simple fact, Skip, he knows what the going rate is for a starting quarterback and what other option do they have. They believe they have a team assembled that can get to and win a Super Bowl. So you're willing to say, okay, no, Dak, you go see what you can get on the open market and then come back and visit us. See, now what they're going to probably do is franchise him, and there's going to be bad blood. Now, I told you all along from things that I was hearing, Dak was unwilling to give them that hometown discount that Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones tried to poison the water and say, well, if he don't give us a discount, he doesn't care about winning. Dak says, the reason why I don't want to give y'all this, why I'm not going to give you the discount, because all these guys, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, D. Law, they got big dollars to begin with. The highest paid left tackle at one point was Tyron Smith. Highest paid center, highest paid guard was those guys on the Cowboys. Dak said, I was a 4th rounder. I'm just not starting to make some money. And plus, Skip, you know why he's even more justified? No matter how bad I've played, tell me I played worse than Jerry Goff has this year. And he just got 100. He got 100.
Carson Wentz in that conversation.
I'm not talking about Carson Wentz.
He got his money.
I mentioned the guy that I wanted to mention.
Yeah, stir that pot.
Whatever. Yeah. So Jerry and Steven, you know, it's going to be y'all job to figure this out.
Yep.
But Dak, the going rate, Skip, is $30 to $35 million, and he's going to want Jerry Goff type signing bonus.
Okay, I want to remind everyone that the Hall of Famer across from me has given Dak Prescott an F multiple times this year, including the last 2 weeks at New England and versus Buffalo.
Yes, but he deserves the money.
And at New England, you gave him triple F. I don't even know, is that a G or an H? I don't know what it is. But the point is, a lot of people are still suspicious of Dak Prescott. They're not sure he is that guy, that franchise quarterback. I've been sold from his rookie year forward. But I'm here to tell you, his performance through this year, it's been a long, hard year, it can't have helped his bargaining power. It could only slightly hurt because he did bet on himself. And right now, there's a big glaring 6 and 6 on his bargaining power. 6 and 6. And unfortunately or fortunately, I always tell you, this is a quarterback's game. So in the end, he's going to have to take the brunt of the blame for 6 and 6. So I'm going to throw at you quickly all the big pluses that his team could argue on his behalf in negotiations. They are, he leads the whole NFL in yards passing. He's third in touchdown passes and third in QBR as we speak. He's also first in completions for first downs. That's pretty great. First in air distance, so you can't do dink and dak. He's throwing it farther down the field than anybody in the whole game. He's first in 20-plus yard completions. That's pretty great, right? He's also first in what are deemed catchable passes. All through this game yesterday, those are all firsts. But he might be last in key plays made in key games, right? He might be dead last because I'm the first to give it up. As much as I love him, there are moments in all those 6 losses, there have been some moments in games they barely survived where he didn't make that play at that moment to win that game. Am I right about that? And we've both been going back and forth. How can that help your bargaining power? I don't know. Because, listen, Jerry and Steven are going to be tough negotiators.
Well, do that. I'm going to say, okay, I'll tell you what you do. Jerry and Steven, don't even worry about it. Just let me hit the open market. And we'll see. You go get you the quarterback that you can have on a rookie contract.
Well, but you know what's going to happen.
They're going to franchise him.
It's going to be Kirk Cousins City. Here we go. Dallas is going to be just like Kirk Cousins was in Washington for Dak
But the thing is, Skip, when you but that money, so it's going to be what, somewhere between $28 and $30 million.
It seems like it was up toward 34 or something like that.
Well, I think the second year. So you want $30 million, Skip, and a quarterback in your cap. So that's what it's going to be. And you can't see, the thing is, when you sign him to that franchise number, Skip, you don't prorate that over the life because it's 1 year. So all that money is in 1 year. You do it again, it's $34, $35 million. Skip, you would have given him $65 million in 2 years. So you might as well just go ahead and buy, Skip.
Okay, but wait a second. If you're Jerry Jones, would you do it? If you could put Shannon Sharpe's sort of point of view in Jerry Jones' body.
Because I don't have no choice.
Okay.
I don't have a choice.
Well, you'd go home then saying, I got an F quarterback, right?
No. No, because I would have been running Zeke. That's what I would have been doing.
So you just make him irrelevant to the process.
I'm gonna run Zeke more.
You pay him $40 million just to hand off.
No. I'm gonna run Zeke more than what they've been using, but I'm not gonna interfere. What I hired Jason Garrett for. That's why I hired these guys for. I'm not gonna be every time they lose a game where I'm thinking about making changes. Actually, within my purview, I hired all them coaches and all them players and all that. I'm not gonna do that. See, I would run it I'll be more like Mr. Kraft.
Okay, so the flip side of this is for the first 3 games, I thought it was working for Jerry not to go ahead and sort of cave in and sign him to a big deal during the year or even during camp because the first 3 games were so sensational. I thought he is great, Dak Prescott, at playing for a deal. Well, lately, he's getting more and more desperate in his decision-making, which is not great for my football team.
What happens is this guy throws for 5,000 and leads the league. So leading the league in passing yards and touchdown passes. How in the hell you going to say that? Nah, we can't pay you that.
Because Jerry can say, Shannon Sharpe's giving him F's.
Don't worry about Shannon.
Well, I'm serious, he would. We got a Hall of Famer, Shannon Sharpe. He's on TV giving him F's.
Yeah, Dak said, that's right, he on TV. That's why he on TV in the front office.
According to Fox Bet, the Patriots are favored by 3.5 against the Texans in Houston. But Tom Brady has his work cut out for him. The latest out of New England. 8 Patriots battling the flu and 4 missed practice again yesterday. So, Shannon, who wins?
I'm gonna take the Texans in a very close one. I think Deshaun Watson is playing unbelievable. I think Carlos Hyde will give them something in the run game.
So I'm going to take the Texans, Skip, in a very, very close ball game. I'm going to say 24-22. I'm just really looking forward to D-Hop against Gilmore. That's what I'm looking forward to. Quarterback play, I think the quarterbacks will probably, but I just want to see that matchup.
It'll be the show within the show.
Yes.
So, I'll take one case on the Patriots right here, right now. Why not? One case of Diet Dew. Just one.
No, you try to get it back.
You want to go two? I don't need to get it back. I'm still, as we stand, I'm 43 cases up. So I'm good, but I'll do one, just
After
one
tonight,
measly
you'll be 30,
Beasley case.
38 up.
Just a little one.
After we win tonight,
well, you just predicted that Texans, right?
Yeah.
I believe the Patriots will win this game 24-17, despite 8 guys having the flu and despite Kai Forbath having to step in for Nick Folk as the new kicker on a
He misses
replacement.
a late one. He misses a late one.
You think so?
Yep.
Okay, I'll take one case on it.
Nope.
Why not?
Nah.
You're flying high. You got the division locked up.
We got the division locked up.
Yeah, you do.
What division?
Come on, the NFC East.
No, we're going to lock it up. We're going to lock it up. We're taking one skip.
Have some guts. You've been gloating the whole show. Now, come on.
I don't feel good. I don't feel good about it. I think I'm
You
about
don't feel good?
Yeah.
That means you think really the Patriots are going to win this game.
I about to ate too much last night.
We call that crawfishing.
I think that's what it is.
No mercy.
Thank you for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Keep an eye out for the weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning, featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Fox Sports. One of one.